Hello, everybody. What's up? Welcome to episode 29 of Uncalled 4. We don't have a Logan here yet. Logan decided that other matters were more important than being with us.
He sucks.
He does, yeah. Logan's
He's dead.
kind of a tool for being late, but he'll be here.
I think he's just dying right now. He's not yet
He's dead.
We
He's
have
on
to
his way back from the dead.
Oh,
Okay,
Let's see.
okay.
What's he say here? He just sent me a text. So y'all are going to probably have to start topics without me. I'm going to be a lot later than I thought.
Why?
Well, like I said, he sucks.
So Logan doesn't care about you, but that doesn't mean that we don't. So, thank you so much for being here and watching. Now we're stuck with a dilemma.
We have a Ranger. I think that's just
true.
as good as a Logan.
Well, I'd say it's significantly better.
Is he even going to make it?
I don't know. He just says.
Well, if
he's
he
gonna
isn't,
be
we
way
might as well
later.
just skip our
But
plan
can
and
you
do
not
that next
rub
week.
your beard on the mic while we're actually
No,
recording?
it's great.
I know it feels great, but that's going to
It
be
is
way.
phenomenal sensation.
I know you do.
So,
It's
all
a
right,
form of ASMR, right?
Sure.
not during the podcast, please. So,
What better time? This is when we get to connect with them like this. Come on, Jordan.
I don't disagree. Like, we get to connect, but I feel like feeling Dan's beard rubbing in their ears is not the way that we want to connect.
I don't know.
I mean, have you asked them?
I think.
I have not specifically
It's
asked them
pretty
if they
great.
want it, but at the same time,
Well, you know what? Why don't you all just write Jordan and tell him how much you would rather listen to Dan rubbing his beard on the mic than listen to him?
you could always just
I think
tweet
that's
at the
the
Huge
best way to do
Media account as well. The
I
links in the
think that's our
description.
solution.
I think just tweeting at the Huge Media Twitter account is going to be a better solution than writing to me.
You're right. That way everybody can hear how much better it is to listen to Dan.
Although you guys don't have access, I should probably get you logged into that account on your phones if you want, just so you have access to it. But otherwise, I'm the only one that has it, which is kind of sad, which means they're still writing to me by default. But all right, so here's the thing.
Now that's sad.
Logan's not going to be here till later.
If at all.
So do you guys just want to BS a random thing, or do you want to go into Weston's topic?
Might as well. I can't stay later, so.
Okay, yeah, because my topic, realistically, I want Logan here for it because I want you and Logan to argue. Your topic, your topic and Logan's topic are going to be the same topic. So
And mine really just needs the two of us anyway, because the others aren't going to contribute as much.
realistically, yeah.
Just realistically. I mean, we'd love more contribution out of them, but it's just
They-
not as much their interest.
No, they're not as interested. So we can go into Weston's topic then right away, and we can just have a conversation. You and I and Dan can kind of butt in every once in a while with what he seems necessary to butt in with.
I think your dog's going to give himself a heart attack.
Yeah,
Looking so
Ranger
much.
has been licking himself. If you guys happen to hear any slurping or slopping through the,
It's
sucks.
true. It's very loud.
it's very
That
pasty.
and the breathing in between.
Ranger.
It is a very pasty thing. Logan sent me another text. Just leave Spider-Man for last. I just put no. We're discussing it now.
Yeah, get here.
I'm just gonna put Dan has to leave early, so we're discussing it now.
But it's not completely true. He's not necessarily leaving early. He's just not leaving later.
Well, no, but it's just more fun to pick on Logan.
Yeah, but I don't want to lie to him either. We have to be honest, people.
Well, too late. I already sent the text.
You little liar.
I'll send him all. I'll say just kidding. We'll wait.
But no,
So, Weston, are we just gonna go right into yours then?
sure. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
I'm not sure how long mine's really going to take.
I mean-
but at least it'll buy him a little bit of time here. And if we get done with
Yeah.
it sooner, we can just BS until he gets here. So.
Well, because here's the thing. With my topic, it's very. I want Logan here. Oh, he says I was gonna say I'm watching. Logan, since you're watching the stream, I just want you to know we are all very
Why are
disappointed
you watching
in
the stream while you're driving?
Yeah, aren't you
Heck.
busy?
Come on, man. Be safe.
Aren't you busy, Logan?
Come on.
He's terrible at that.
Dude, all right. So yeah, the entire way home when I was helping him move back from Atlanta, he is on his phone typing in things for YouTube and
Yeah.
watching YouTube videos the entire drive.
Not good, Logan.
I'm putting you
Not
on the spot,
good.
Logan. See, Terraria's here in chat, but he
Ew.
yeah, so Logan will be here. We just don't know when. I guess I don't know. So, Weston, we'll just jump right into yours then. We will discuss everything that needs to be discussed for you, and then we will move into
If we need to, we'll
Mine,
BS in
we
between
can
or
BS
something like
until
that.
Logan. Yeah, that's fine.
We'll figure it out. We can always just bring Ranger in and have a guest topic as well.
Ranger, do you want to be a guest? Does Ranger want to be guest, huh? Come here. You want to be on? No? Okay. Ranger doesn't want to be on.
I'm gonna lick your couch a bit more.
Ranger, come here,
The
baby.
truth. The truth.
Come here. He's like, nope. All right, anyways.
So, I had a student the other day who was asking me to help him find some options for building PCs. One of the things he wanted me to help with, specifically due to the big shortage, are GPUs.
Yes.
A likely story, Logan.
So,
I don't know if I
regardless,
believe you.
Apparently, Logan's sister is driving for him, so he's safe.
yeah, sure, right,
I don't
Anyway.
know what's more dangerous, Logan texting and driving or having his sister drive.
I don't know.
I've never seen her
I've never
drive.
dri-
so-
I've never seen a sister drive, but I just want
I don't know.
to just go out there and ask.
Anyway, my conversation topic is I found a lot of really weird little details about upcoming GPUs.
Yes.
Like, have you heard about the RTX 2050 coming out?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
incredibly weird. Oh, you have, Dan. Do you want to explain?
Yes.
Elaborate.
I don't want to go over your head though,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna let you.
Okay, speak to me
flounder.
Speak to me then.
Okay.
No, go ahead. No.
All right. So we all know
What's your topic, Terraria?
that the 20 series has always run on the Turing architecture, right?
Yes.
That's just how it's been. The 10 series ran on the Pascal, the 20 series runs on the Turing, and the 30 series runs on Ampere,
Yes.
right?
Of course.
So
Naturally.
what's
Yes.
really weird is that they're releasing a 2050 using the Ampere architecture. And what they're doing to balance it back is to just reducing the actual memory bus so that it can't handle as many bits for the architecture.
So what's the VRAM on it?
I have to double check that, but good freaking Lord, why are they doing it that way? I mean, that feels like such a roundabout way of doing it. It's going to confuse a lot of people, you know?
Yeah, that's incredibly weird. I mean, it's the same thing. They're re-releasing the 2060 right now, but they're doubling the VRAM on that. So they're taking it from, or not doubling, they're going from 8
Okay.
to 12.
And so far, it's only registered to have up to 4 gigabytes of...
Up to 4.
Yeah.
God, my laptop has more than that. Or no, actually, isn't the 2060, the normal one is 6, I believe. So they are doubling it by going to 12.
Yep.
I misspoke. My bad.
For the 2060,
Yeah, for the
12
2060,
gigabyte coming
12,
out, they're
yeah.
doubling it.
They are doubling,
The
but for
2050,
this-
though, according to the sources, are only pardons, beginning with 4 gigabytes.
God, that's incredibly weird. I mean, at this point,
And
with the
it's-
way games are running now, I mean, the 4 gigs is what the 970 had. Just to put that into perspective. And then the 1060, the 3 gig model, was already way limited by the amount of VRAM when it came out. That's why people were saying, don't get the 3 gig, go with the 6, because 3 is not enough.
Yeah, and I would argue today that 4, honestly, isn't enough if you want to play any game at medium or higher settings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, with today's standards, 4 gigs, there's absolutely no way you're going to have enough. I mean, for 1080p gaming, I guess, you could probably get away with it for some games. But, like, for the big titles, like new Call of Duties and...
yes. Your butt tastes good, doesn't it?
Ranger. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
What are you doing, bud?
You're doing so well. You were napping a little bit. You were all quiet, and you just had to go do that.
I feel like that's going to be a clip that someone makes. Just Dan saying, oh, yes, your butt tastes good, doesn't it? Anyways.
Possibly.
Anyway.
So there's a lot of
Do
games
it.
that you could get away with 4 gigs on. I mean, and they're obviously not your big AAA titles. And some of them actually maybe could be, depending on what you dial back settings-wise. I mean, you could turn off,
No,
shadow
yeah.
detail.
You're
you
going
could
to
lower
have to
that and-
sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, because shadow detail is going to be a huge one. Your textures, you're going to have to pull a lot back, which is obviously going to hurt the card significantly. But at the same time, with the market being the way it is and the chip shortage the way it is, what other choice do we have? I mean, it's almost like you just have to take it, which sucks. I hate the market right now. It's actually extremely pathetic. But it's one of those things where I guess even a dumbed down card is better than nothing with the
But you
way it is
see-
right now.
What I don't get is why aren't they at least keeping
Not
it
for
as
the
a
prices
Turing
that they are.
architecture and then just make it the quality that they're still making.
See,
it.
that's
you see
well,
what
I
they're
don't
doing
know.
is they're giving it like this is like taking a big old truck engine and putting it in a little car and limiting it back instead of just putting it in the engine that belongs in it. You know what
You're
I'm saying?
absolutely right. Absolutely.
That's what's killing me about this.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, I mean, with the way things are right now, they can't manufacture enough chips. I mean, that's
I know
that's
this.
proven. I mean, we all know this. You can't make enough right now, which is it sucks. I hate it. Otherwise, what you're gonna have to do then is just say, screw it. We're gonna have less. I mean, if they have leftover things available and they're like, hey, we can split these into, X number of like lower grade GPUs. I mean, if it's the Turing architecture, was it Turing or Ampere?
The one that they're adding into it, they're adding
Yeah.
in the Ampere.
Adding in Ampere. Okay, so if they have, let's say they made X amount of chips for the 3060s and 3070s or whatever, right?
I get that. They might have some extras.
Well, not even that,
well,
but if it doesn't reach the specification,
I
then
get that.
they can take those, put them in a lower tier card, but I don't understand why they're calling it a 20 series, I guess. That part really confuses me.
There's a 20 in it.
That's not how that works. Anyway, so...
It's in the name, Jordan.
But like I'm sure what's happening is, it's the chips that weren't up to specification for the 3060. So they're just like, okay, you know what? We have these, and right now they can't do anything with them, so let's throw them into a lower tier card, which should have been the 3050.
What I was going to say is,
but-
honestly, I'm wondering if they weren't the failed 3050s. But even then, isn't there a better way they could do it? Like create maybe a 3040 series or something like that?
I mean, they've never really done that before. They've always just
but you
shut
see,
down.
here's what I'm saying is they could open that up and it would
They
actually
could.
make more sense.
They could, but at the same time, everyone always thinks 50 as like, if you're going to be gaming, that's the absolute lowest. You don't want anything lower than the 50 series, So I think if they were to go down to 40, they're like, okay, that's even lesser than the 50, which is going to be significantly worse. And then no one would buy it. They would just try to get the 50 instead.
But that's just a
So,
psychological game. Statistically
is.
speaking, even at the 3040 level, it would still be at a high enough level where you could play most games and be fine, assuming they give you enough VRAM.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That VRAM limitation is really going to hurt.
That's what's really killing it.
That's really going to hurt. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I think it's really weird. So I'm on your side with this. Don't get me wrong. I kind of understand what they're doing. But
Better than the Jonas Brothers, dude.
oh yeah, yesterday on our way to Sioux Falls, Logan was jamming out to Year 3000 by the Jonas Brothers, and he was singing every single word, and I was embarrassed for him, even though it was just us three in the car.
He loved it.
He
It's
did.
terrible.
And then it was stuck in my
got
head.
issues.
But anyways, the reason why we said that, for those listening audio, Ace in chat, he goes, Logan is probably blasting Pirates of the Caribbean theme on his way to the podcast. So that
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely a boy band.
it's definitely
Somehow.
either a boy band or a Disney song, or both,
Truth.
like Jonas Brothers.
Well, Pirates of the Caribbean is Disney, so...
okay,
true
but I'm
enough.
talking like classical Disney, like Let It, like any classic like Disney animated movie song, not Pirates of the Caribbean. Anyways, going on.
I could actually see him more duetting the, like, a Whole New World with his sister or something like that.
Or Let It Go from Frozen. I could see Logan doing that as well.
Or at least trying to get his sister in on, that's what I'm really saying.
Yeah, I don't know if his sister would go in on that or not.
See, I don't think she would. I think she's too clever for him.
I've only met his sister once, so I don't really know her all that well. But yeah, I do agree. But anyways, as I was saying,
Don't diss the VeggieTales.
okay, VeggieTales is top tier. Anyways, going back to the conversation, we oh, hi Range, you want to come say hi? He's like, there's a window. I'm just gonna look out it. So
it. You don't have a helmet on.
it is incredibly weird that they're moving back to the 20. I don't understand why they're calling it the 20, other than like what I said. Maybe they were just like the 3050s that weren't good enough to be 3050s, but they don't want to call it anything lower. Like going to a 3010 just doesn't seem right. They've never done a 20, 30, or 40 before, so why start now? I guess.
But you have
20.
to realize they never did, like, a 16 series or anything like that before. And
I
then
mean,
went and
that's
did
very
that.
true as well. But I mean, at the same time, it was only a 1650 and the 1660, right? Which they have done this, the 50 and 60, and so
Then why not, for something like this, they could at least do something like a 2650 or something like that.
see, and that would make sense, yeah. But like with the 16, I guess what it was is it was the RTX low end RTX cards without the RTX features, minus the 1650 Super, the 1660, and the 1660 Super. I believe all had the NVENC encoder.
Mm-hmm.
The 1650 did not, which is why when I built that computer for the church, I made sure I put in the 16. It was the 1650 Ti or Super, whatever one it was. I forget.
I'm pretty sure it was Super, but
That's not important. Either way, I made
Is
sure.
there an even better version called the Super Duper?
No, but that would actually be fantastic.
that
I
actually
love
would be
that.
fantastic.
The
I'd go for
20
that.
the 2050 Super Duper. That should be what this card's called.
But no, I would definitely say I would at least have liked to have seen them change up that 20 to like a 2150 or
Yeah.
something like that, or
Which I
2650
get.
or something.
But if you were in the position of NVIDIA right now, what would you specifically do? If you were in a position where you could not get chips at all, so you can't really make the cards that you want to make, you have all these leftover 3050s that didn't make the cut for 3050, would you actually then just take it back to would you make a whole new series, the 21 series, just for the 2150? Or would you just back it back to the 20 series that you already had and just throw it in there? Because I feel like making an entire new 21 generation would not make any sense at all. Going back to what you already had, when you're only going to put in one SKU, you're only putting in the 2050. Just adding in the one then would make sense if you're going to go back and make it for the 20. But I can't see them.
What you're saying.
I can't see it making sense if they were to be like, okay, you know what? We're going to make an entire new generation, quote unquote generation, and we're going to call it the 21 series, but there's only going to be one card in it.
But the part that's killing me is that architecture. That architecture itself is what distinguishes between the actual generations. By taking the current generation's actual architecture and shifting it back,
Yeah.
that's actually more confusing to any consumer than just
Okay,
giving
so
a new SKU.
is it more confusing to any consumer, or is it more confusing to us that actually follow the market?
Those of us who follow the market. I consider us the real consumers.
Because
though.
I think your average Joe
Purist,
walking into a micro center.
elitist Weston.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe just a little, but
So
still.
your average Joe walking into a micro center, I can't see them being like, okay, well, they have 2050s here, but wait, why is it on this architecture when the rest of the 20 series is? I can't see your average person doing that. I say the people like us that actually follow the market, the people like us that pay attention to architecture and actually know what we're talking about.
You have to realize we're talking about people who are buying GPUs specifically. And that
Yes.
means they probably built their own PC, which means they're probably doing that research already.
Or are
you
they?
have- I mean,
A lot of people just say,
You can hope.
hey, this is a decent, like the 2060 is a good GPU, right? They're going to be like, okay, well, the 2050's in stock. It can't be that much different because it's only 10 off. I mean, you got to think in the mind of the average person that is going in.
yeah, and the average person typically is going to go in and buy a pre-built. I mean, if you stop and think about it, the average Joe is going to go in and just buy a pre-built. It takes research and actual understanding to actually put together a PC.
Yeah.
So they have to have done some research.
Or
No.
maybe you hit the point where, like,
No.
Let's
Only
say-
if you want it to actually work, Weston.
This is true.
let's say like Logan, for example, right? Logan, I mean, he has us. So, I mean, obviously he's not going in blind, but he doesn't follow the market. He doesn't really know
I don't
what
know,
he's
he could
doing
forget
when it
his
comes to that
glasses.
stuff. Shut up, Dan. So...
Do not shut up. I love this.
So he goes into Micro Center. He wants to buy a GPU, right? Right now, he has my 970. That's what he's been using since
He's going to buy a
April.
2020 because it's perfect vision.
He has my 970.
But doesn't
Like-
have the Mind Stone.
If he walks in
Probably not.
to a Micro Center and sees that they have a 2050, he's going to be like, okay, well, look, they have a 20 series card in stock. 20 series is last series, but they still have them available. I'm going to pick it up because I need to get rid of this 970 and give it back to Jordan, right? So
You're projecting.
I'm thinking more people like that. You know, I'm not thinking the people like us that are gonna go in, they follow the market and are willing to drop $800 on a card. I'm thinking the people. I mean, it's obviously if it's a 2050, it's a budget oriented card. It's not top tier. It's not going to be the elitist, the top end that people want to get, right? But in a market that it is right now, I think it makes more sense actually to call it the 2050, even though the architecture is different. I get that that's a weird thing. But I'm thinking from the average person perspective that doesn't follow this market and won't know the difference between Ampere and Turing like we do. I think it's not the stupidest thing they've done.
Oh, it's definitely not the stupidest thing they've done.
I
Do not get me wrong
I
on
actually
that.
think that the 16 series makes less sense than this. Personally. I would say this makes more sense than the 16 series completely. Because at that point, why not
From
just
a
have...
business perspective, I would agree.
Yeah.
From an actual technology perspective, I actually think that what they do with the 16 series is actually more.
Well, I'm
understandable.
talking from their
But
business end.
business,
what
yes.
makes sense for them? Because, like I said, it won't make sense for them to make a 21 series and only have one SKU in
Mm-hmm.
it. But they can't call it a 30 series because it's so low end that they don't want to. They can't go lower than the 3050, but they can go lower to a 2050, which
But
that makes sense.
You
to
are
me.
also making one little assumption there as well, that this is the only SKU that they could make from those that didn't make the
And see,
cut.
that's the thing. They could go with more. You're right. I mean, they could make a 16 or not 16, a 2050 Ti or the Super or whatever, right? So they could have like a
Super
20.
duper.
The Super Duper.
Duper.
They could have a 2150 Super Duper Looper if they really wanted, But
Pooper scooper.
Now,
or
I-
Pooper Scooper, is that what you
Yes.
said? Yeah. So the 2150 Ti Super Duper Pooper Scooper could be something that they have, right? Like that. That's fair.
I'd buy that.
Dan's all over it. He's like, you know what? I would lick that Pooper Scooper.
No, Ranger would though.
truth.
But
Truth.
from a business perspective, I do see where they're coming from. Like I said, I don't
I
like
can
it.
see it.
I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm
And
not saying
also,
that it's a
let
good
me make
thing.
one more
but I get it.
clarification. Logan, I heard that you're watching this. If you do go down there and you are presented with an issue like that, call me, please.
Well, to
I
be
will explain
fair,
things to you.
If he goes to Micro Center to get a GPU,
He's
I'm-
going with
I'm
one of
going
us
with.
anyway,
I
but-
already told him I'm going with him no matter what. We'll have a day in Minneapolis, go to the Mall of America, whatever. I don't care. But when he goes, he's not even listening. When he goes, he's gonna go with me.
He's asking what's going on.
We're talking about you getting a new GPU and how you're gonna go
true.
with me instead of going
And how
by
you're
yourself.
not going alone and doing anything stupid.
And you
So-
should pick the 2021 because your eyesight's not good.
So I definitely, I don't know. Like I said, I think I don't like it, but I understand it.
Like, I can see business-wise why they might do it, but I also see how that could also be confusing to those who
Yeah.
are actually enthusiasts.
The only thing I don't like about it is what you touched on with the 4 gigs of VRAM. I mean, they haven't had a 4 gig card since the 1050, I believe.
1060 mobiles.
What was the 1050 then? Was that
1050?
6?
1050, it varied.
I think
There were a couple versions of it.
no, because they had. I think
Well,
it
they
was
had a
the,
1050 Ti, I guess. You're right.
I
That's what I was
think
confusing it with
the
there.
the base 1050, I'm pretty sure was
There's
4.
four.
Then they had the 1063 gig and the 1066 gig, but I think that the 1050 alone was a 4 gigabyte card. So we haven't had one of those in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're doing that now, though, in 2021, or this card would come out in 2022, right? It's not coming out this year.
Yeah, it's not coming out this year. It's
Coming
next
out in
year.
the spring, right? If I remember right, or is it early? Is it
it's-
late winter or early spring?
I think it's spring.
Okay, so
I don't think they gave us an exact date, but
yeah, so I mean the fact that
Somewhere
they're
in
going
there.
back to the 2020, or I guess it'd be a 2019 card, right?
mm-hmm.
So they're going back to a 2019 naming scheme in 2022. When
And then that same year they're
when
releasing
in
three
July
other 30 series cards.
they're coming out with the 4000 series in July.
You see, some people say July. They're not 100% sure, but I believe it is July. It's the last
Everything
I've
I've
heard.
seen and heard has been July, but that obviously
I've
could
heard
be.
some claim that that's actually an early assumption that they're going to push it back to later, but we'll see. I honestly don't know, but I've also heard they're supposed to release 3 other SKUs in the 30 series next year as well.
What else would they release though? Because they already have the 3090, the 3080 Ti, the 3080, the 3070 Ti. I think a 3070 Ti, right? Do they have a Ti for the 3070
I don't remember if they do or
or a
not.
Super or whatever? I mean, so I mean,
Super.
I guess technically they could go with a 3060 Ti and a 3070 Super Ti or
I want
whatever.
to think that
But
there was a TI in there.
I don't remember if there was a 3070 Ti or not.
Let me-
All I know is that they have enough 30 series cards out right now, and those came out in early 2020. Because I got my 2070, I bought it right when we got the first stimulus checks. That's what I spent mine on. Which thank God I did, because
Yeah, they're
otherwise
coming out with a.
we wouldn't be able to get them now.
Yeah, it's.
So I'm happy that I bought the 2070 when I did, because there's absolutely no way that I would be able to do that otherwise. I mean, it's just not possible. As much as I'd love to say, yeah, I mean, we could easily do that. You can't get a card now. Even when I was with Logan in Atlanta, right? We went to the Micro Center down there, and he was going to pick up a GPU. They had some in Atlanta and in St. Louis. We looked in both stores on our way back, and they had cards there for $200 or $300 over the MSRP. So even at Micro Center, they're overcharging a lot, which really, really worries me for when we go and look for his. I think he said he wants to go in January. I'm not entirely sure when he wants to actually go up there. I think he was talking January, though. He says sometime soon. But
Soon is relative.
It is very
it
relative.
is extremely. So I don't know. The whole thing is weird. The whole market right now sucks. There's no way to get new cards right now. And so if they can produce anything extra, I'm on board with it without making an entire new generational name. I think it's fine.
Like, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, like, it's confusing.
Oh,
For
it
those of us
is.
who actually know. That's my biggest complaint. For those of us who do follow up and do our research.
You
it
said
actually,
doo-doo.
Shut up, Jordan. So, but no. Like, for those of us who do the research and actually do follow along with these things, it's very confusing. It's like, it makes it harder for me to know what to recommend and what not to recommend.
Well, see, and I think the thing is, though, too, is that me and you, we follow the market well enough to where we
Elitist.
will know to recommend. We will know what to recommend because we still follow this, you know? A lot of, like I said, I think for the average person, and I think that when you say people like us, like, obviously that's, on knowledge scale of what's going on, is significantly higher than the average person. I would like to say that you and I know a lot more than your average Joe that's going to walk into Micro Center. I'd say we're better off with knowledge-wise on this than 90% of the people that follow this or would even care.
Perhaps.
Why is it that people who are named Joe are less intelligent?
Just goes with the J names. We're all idiots.
But why is Jordan more intelligent than Joe?
Never said I was. I just didn't want to throw
You just
myself
said
in.
you
You
said
see-
the average
no.
Joe, man.
Average Joe. Joe is average. Jordan is below average.
But he said he knows more than the average Joe.
That is true. I did say that.
You see, it's his ignorance talking.
I have been told by someone before
It's very
that
mean
I
to Joes out
am as
there.
shallow as a kiddie pool, were their exact words. So I can understand, that you might think lowly of me, just like the water level inside kiddie pool.
I mean,
You mean Joe Mama? Ha ha!
uh,
Got him!
But no. I don't know. I'm still just very upset with the market in general and what's going
No,
on.
I mean,
with that.
we all are. There's not
But-
one person happy with the market. But like Terraria said in chat, Square Enix right now, they can't even get new servers for their new games because they can't get chips, which... and I know I've brought this up a couple times before. It's affecting everything right now. Like even the Indian motorcycle plant here, they have, last time I heard, 3,000 or 4,000 motorcycles in a warehouse in Milford. With their complete motorcycles, they're all done. There's just no chip, so they can't sell it. There's 3,000 motorcycles that are complete. They can't get them. They can't get chips. I mean, it's affecting the auto industry. It's not just, GPUs. Look at the PlayStation 5 and Xbox One. Look at even processors that you want to throw in. Like, there's a processor shortage, but the reason why that's not as prevalent is because it's not being scalped due to miners, which are a huge problem with this. I mean, I'm not saying they're 100% to blame, because a lot of it too is not just the miners, it's people that are willing to pay the scalpers. So the scalpers are going in knowing that they can get double what they pay if they use their bots to buy up all of them. And plus, I've also heard things too where the manufacturers are actually selling pallets of these cards to the people that are scalping them. Like they are going in and saying, "Hey, I will buy an entire pallet for $20,000." They're like, "Okay, that's an easy 20 grand that we don't have to wait for. We're going to take it." So like MSI and Asus and all these companies that are producing the cards will just straight up, "Hey, there you go. We offloaded an entire pallet, $20,000. Now they're going to make 40 off of it." But they don't care
Well,
because
as long as
they
they get
made
their
their
money.
money. That's all they want. Which, I mean, like I said, it's stupid. It sucks. But it's the world we're in right now. And until 2023 is when I believe they're going to finally start catching up. Because I know like TSMC, they are making a new factory. Is it in Arizona or Nevada or New Mexico? It's one of the desert states.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
can't remember
new
exactly which it is
there's a
either.
new chip factory though, but you know what I'm talking about. Which until that's up and running, right now
Even
the
then,
shortage-
it's going to take them a while to catch up.
it's going to take them a while to catch up. But until it's up and running, we're screwed. I mean, we're not going to even start getting back to normal until that's up, and even then, it's a very long climb to get back up there. Like even if they double what they have, or like they can double their production or triple their production or whatever. I don't know how big this factory is going to be. Let's just say they triple it. they're still right now so far under that if they're making 100 for every 3, or like every 4 or 500 they need, if they triple it, they're still 200 short. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea. Like the whole thing is, the whole thing's sad. The market's sad. We've been talking about this for 30 minutes now, so I don't know if you want to keep going.
I don't know. I'm still trying to buy time for Logan to get here.
Yeah, I am too. Logan, are you listening? How much longer until you're actually here?
Talk to us, man.
Never.
I'm
Well,
waiting for Logan. I mean, we could just talk to chat for a few minutes too.
I mean, we can. I'm fine with that.
We usually don't ever interact with chat, so
I know it's true.
we can just talk to people that are here. I know.
I was
Terraria
trying to
and
buy
Ace
Logan
will,
some
but-
time, but if you want, we can talk to chat.
Yeah,
I love our chat. So
Yeah, we never do it.
15 minutes.
Logan, you suck, but our chat doesn't.
That is true.
Terraria, what's your topic?
Do you know what else doesn't suck?
Throw it out there.
You know what doesn't suck? Using your Prime sub here if you have it available, because we need new chairs. I keep saying that. And if you guys have a Prime sub or an extra $4.99 a month you want to help out, that's a great way to do so. Or
Let me actually pull up.
you can watch ads for bits too, which is another good way to help out. So I mean, whatever way you want to help support, feel free. It does help out significantly, especially since, you know, the next thing we are getting for sure are chairs. Obviously, like we need it. So these suck. I hate these chairs.
These chairs hate you.
They do. I mean, I'm
You
constantly
sit on
putting
them
my
every
butt
single
on it.
time.
Yeah. I mean, I
Like
fart on
that's-
these chairs.
It's
I-
torture.
Yeah, I'm sure people don't like it when
Awful.
I fart. So I mean, it makes sense.
I can't breathe, dude.
Anyway, hello Terraria.
Yeah, so we can wait for
Yo.
Logan to get here. That's okay. Just move the couch. That would not work at all. This, you guys
And then
aren't
Ranger
aware.
would never forgive us. He likes that couch.
That's true. That's his couch. You guys aren't aware at how small this room actually is. I wish it had more space. I really, really do. Honestly, if it weren't for the low ceiling, it would have a lot more room. I think. Like,
Would have ceiling room.
well, I think
That's
we could
it.
actually put things in places that, you know, it would make more sense. Then we would have more, like, because right now the couch has to basically be there. We can't have this table there because we're too high up. So I mean, realistically,
Mm-hmm.
you know, right now anything would.
Yeah, he was looking that seat over there for quite a while. I don't really want to sit down, you know. It's
Dude,
kind of
every time I go to sitting on that couch, I
saliva
have to,
infused.
like, wipe the fur onto the floor. Like it's bad. I wish I had more MySpace as well. Speaking of MySpace, that could be a topic, like old websites that used to be popular and died out, where you think they went wrong, or just like, because I mean, Facebook killed MySpace, that's obvious. But could MySpace have done anything? This isn't going to be like an official topic for YouTube, I don't think, but could MySpace have done anything to save themselves, do you think?
I think it was dead before.
I was going to
Facebook
say, I don't
showed
think it
up.
actually made it all the way to Facebook's era.
No, it did, because I was still using MySpace before I had a Facebook
yeah, but that was
account.
you.
Okay, me and a lot of my friends were still using MySpace before Facebook was,
Friends?
like, okay.
You should expect us to believe that phrase.
I'm just going to go sit on the Ranger couch.
Ew. He's looking his butt over there.
That's true, he was looking his butt.
And then he licked the couch.
That's true.
That's
Ranger.
butt the couch.
All right, so here's the thing about Ranger. I love him to death, right? He's my baby. He's an idiot. He is, I say this in the nicest way possible, he is the smartest moron I've ever met. Because he's always aware of what's going on. He knows he always knows where food's at, he knows where people are, and he's always aware of what's going on outside the house, right?
It's called senses. Smell.
Well, here's the thing, like,
hearing.
you can't get anything by him, no matter what. I've tried. You cannot sneak anything past that dog. He's also an idiot. He is super stupid, but yet he's incredibly smart, and I don't understand how that's even possible. I love him. Don't get me wrong, he's the best, but he...
Kind of reminds you of yourself.
No, because Ranger actually has a smart side.
Well, there are a few things that you know. Okay, I understand. I
There
understand.
you go. Logan just needs to get here, man, because my topic we were talking about yesterday in the car on the way to Sioux Falls, and Logan and Dan were getting into an argument, and I want to rehash that. I want the argument brought back up. Also, my answer to the question I will pose is to specifically piss off people on the West Coast. Are you having fun over there?
It'd be more fun if I could light something on fire.
I mean, Jordan's right here.
I don't have anything for you to light. I'm sorry.
I mean, I lit a piece of paper on fire on that one episode.
Yeah, that wasn't really smart, was it?
It was very smart.
It was
genius.
Hey, it doesn't matter if it's smart or not. It was fun. It was
It's not
entertaining.
his house that would burn
Genius.
down if he does something stupid, though. That's the thing.
I'm in it though.
It's true. We're right here.
How about Weston and Dan start
I
talking
like
about anime?
your
No.
thoughts.
Oh, what do you want? What anime topic do you want to talk about, Terraria?
Boom. Right there.
Byakuya? Oh.
Is that
oh,
a shirt that you
Bleach.
bought yesterday?
Yeah.
I can tell. It looks like
Yes.
it's like fresh.
It's amazing. I like it.
It looks fresh. I can tell.
Let's just throw in there some Bleach was announced next year,
I'm
October
super excited for
2022. 1,000-year Blood War arc.
We have a question here too that we could talk about. Do you believe that a hot dog is a sandwich or is it a taco? Or is a taco?
It's a hot dog.
Or is a taco just a variant of a
A
sandwich?
hot dog is a hot dog. That's how it's always been.
I say it's a sandwich. I would say so. Because
So-
what is a sandwich? Define it.
Well, there are two types of sandwiches.
Okay.
So you've got a sandwich is any type of a collection of
hoagie.
foods between two pieces of bread, I guess we could call it.
Doesn't necessarily have to be bread though, or like
That's what I'm saying, it's
or not even necessarily have to be two pieces.
That's what I said. There's two types. There's open face and closed face.
Okay. So, I mean, technically, if like when you put the hot dog in, if the bun rips, then that's two separate pieces. You could say, I mean, it'd be a sandwich, right? Or if you just make a normal piece of bread and you fold it over, it's a sandwich. So, I mean, yeah, it's absolutely a sandwich. I think anyone who says otherwise
It's
is
a
an idiot.
hoagie.
What are we, GMM? No. Okay. We actually have brains. Put them on blast.
I've never seen it.
Good Mythical Morning? Rhett and Link?
No.
You've never watched
I've never
Red-
seen my brain.
Oh. You've
I
never
believe
watched-
it's there, but
thought
I
you
have
meant
never
you've never
seen it.
anything with Rhett and Link before. I'm
It's
like,
kind of just a faith thing, you know? I've never seen it, but I believe it's there.
I have seen scans of my brain. Does that count?
They could be lying to you, though.
Are you sure it's your brand, not just an image that they're
I
inserting
was-
to make you feel better?
I was in
about
the
yourself?
machine. It was when I had a
That
concussion
means
in high
nothing.
school.
They can lie and they can fake anything.
So
man.
they were.
You know, in my classes, I teach students to have defaults put in there in case like there is no logical or reasonable answer presented.
So are you saying that I'm just a default?
And I'm saying you got the default.
Oh, because I have always told people I am generic white guy number 4.
Yeah, so they just sent you a default generic brain image.
It's like, because where was I? It wasn't even that long ago. Somebody goes, oh, it was when I was working that frat party. One of the kids came up to me and was like, "You look just like one of my cousins from back home." And I'm like, "Well, that's because I am generic white guy number 4. It would make sense that, you know, I look similar to like it's the fat bald white guy like that. It's generic white guy number 4. Any video game you play,
Why number
character-
4?
Because I'm not good enough to be 1, 2, or 3. So I just figured.
Well, you're assuming you're good enough to be 4.
Well, I mean, I'm not even on the podium at that point.
You're
But you're runner-up.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is you're assuming you're good enough to be the runner-up.
I mean, I could be the runner-up. Like I said, it's not good enough to be a podium finish.
Doesn't matter. You're claiming to be runner-up.
I'm just claiming to be not good enough for the podium.
No, you're
If-
claiming to be good enough to be
if
the
you're
next
not
one
first-
there.
if
You
you're
are
not first,
claiming
you're
you
last.
finished the race, though.
I mean, I was born. I was hoping I finished a race. Technically, I was a winner at least once.
Were you, though?
I'm
Maybe
here.
your
I'd have to be.
Maybe your parents were just losers.
I don't like that. my parents are great. No, they're not.
They
losers.
they just had you.
But what? Dan,
I'm just thinking different perspectives here.
you're a jerk.
I've never said anything otherwise.
I've never heard him say anything otherwise or to the contrary.
Oh, Logan, when are you gonna be here, man? Hurry up. We miss you.
And also, I agree with Terraria. You are at best white guy number 286,145.
Can we at least say I'm top 50,000?
No. Well, we'll say you're top 1 million.
Okay. which that number would be top 1 million. So I guess he's right then. Dang, you guys are like, you're great for a self-esteem. You know that?
And just think they're over. Well, I guess. How many Caucasians are there? Because if we're going to do white guys, have to actually consider how many there are in total and then take that out and figure out if you're actually in the
Are we
top
going
percentage.
just the U.S.?
No, we're to look at the entire world and across history.
Alexa, how many white people are in the world?
It depends on your definition
According
of
to an
what
Alexa
white is.
Answers contributor, there are 850 million white people in the world.
850 million.
11.5% of the total world population.
That's a lot of people. And that's only 11% of the world population.
Well, so you see, if you're in the top, I don't know, can we even put you in the top million of that?
So you're saying I'm not even good enough to be...
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep. There, Logan. Just saying.
Yeah, imagine if Logan's not here soon. How sad that would be. Should we just start getting into my topic, and then when Logan gets here, he can join mid-combo?
Go for it. We already know what he's gonna say.
Okay, so my topic, then, I'm just going to jump
Yes,
into
I like
it.
pizza.
I do, too, which
Especially if it has
honestly,
meat on it.
if it's food-related, is going straight
It's
into
not my
topic.
go-to since I've had it so much, but I do like pizza.
I mean, you wouldn't say no if someone's like, hey, do you want this piece of pizza?
If I have other options, I might say no.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, my topic going into food is, what is the most overrated fast food restaurant?
I think a lot of them are.
A lot of them are
A lot
overrated, but
are.
here's the thing. So my cousin, his wife is from California. She thinks that In-N-Out Burger is the greatest thing of all time. I've been to In-N-Out Burger twice, and both times I remember thinking I would honestly rather have McDonald's. It is cheaper, and it tastes better. So In-N-Out Burger would be mine, and I know it's going to piss off everyone in California, but I had it once in Dallas.
Who cares?
I had it once in Dallas, Texas, when I landed there, and then I had it just a few months ago when I was in California. Now, I think it is incredibly overrated because everyone says it's like God tier when clearly it's not. Otherwise, my other answer would be Subway. I think Subway's good, but I feel like a lot of people, oh yeah, I love Subway. It's my favorite sandwich. Like Jimmy John's is significantly better. Okay, I will go on a
I
limb.
disagree on that one.
I actually
I
disagree
think Jimmy
as well.
John's is incredibly overrated.
Oh really?
I actually
I
agree
like
with
it. I like Subway more than Jimmy John's, to be honest.
See, I would much rather have Jimmy John's than Subway.
Jimmy John's is way too simple, and it's good.
So is
It's
Subway, too.
super fat. You can get a lot in your sub, though.
Well, you can get a lot. That's true.
I think ingredients-wise, it just tastes better. That's Subway.
See, I disagree. I think Jimmy John's bread is significantly better than Subway.
I don't.
Really?
I actually am going to side with Dan on this
Yep.
one.
I like
Interesting.
Jimmy John's bread, but I think it is okay. And I'd personally rather have Subway.
See, I haven't had Subway in a very long time because ever since Jimmy John's came into town, I'm like, and I don't know if maybe it's because when I was in high school, I had Subway so much. You know, like after a certain point, you can only have so many subs before you just are like, no, I don't want any more from Subway. You know? Someone gave me a bunch of gift cards for Subway at one point, and I was like, I probably won't use it. It's like I've been giving them to my family, and like when I was on my way back from Virginia here in October, I think it was in Pennsylvania or Ohio, I stopped at a rest area there, and they had a Subway in this like truck stop, and I just was like, here you go, I'm paying for your food. Like here's a $10 gift card. Like I just go out of my way to almost avoid it now because I've had it so much. And so I think that might be extremely overrated, but that, see, like Ace in the chat says he prefers Jersey Mike's over Subway and Jimmy John's. We don't have a Jersey Mike's here. I've never had it.
Quiznos was good when that was around.
Quiznos was incredibly good. What happened to them?
They kind of just died off.
They did,
They
but
really
like
did.
they had really good food. So what did they do wrong? Because I mean, people were going there quite a bit. At least here they were. I mean, it was either Quiznos or Subway.
They
at the
weren't
time.
as widespread as Subway by any means.
They
I don't
weren't.
think they just,
but
I just don't think
Subways
they were
are
as
everywhere.
well known.
Quiznos were very,
do you think they just spread out too quickly and they didn't have
or
the
they didn't have
infrastructure
enough
to keep up with
spread
it?
out. Like, I don't think they had enough.
I don't think they were well enough known. I think that's a large portion. So people didn't think about them when they thought about subs.
I don't know. Their area coverage was just so much smaller than Subway.
It was a mostly Midwestern thing, right? Or was it spread out more than just the Midwest?
I mean, it was more than Midwest, but it's just like the number of restaurants was such significantly lower.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing a Quiznos other than here in Spencer.
There was one in Ames a long time ago. It's gone now, but that was the nearest one and the one around.
Yeah, 'cause
that's
we-
about it. Was there one in Fort Dodge, maybe?
I don't know.
about that one.
I know
don't
we
know.
had one here, and it's where the Verizon wireless store's at in town. Like that.
Really, they had one here? That's a long time ago then.
Yeah, they had one here, and then it went to it was Alltel, and now it's Verizon, and it's been that for years. But
Well, they died
We-
off.
and then they had one in the mall in Spencer too, didn't
Mm-hmm.
they? Right when you walk into the left, if I remember
Yep.
right.
Nah, I don't remember
Immediately
any of
over
that
there. You
stuff.
can also exit it from the outside.
Well, yeah, but if you're walking into the mall, immediately to the left.
It was in the South Park Mall, yeah.
No, I think he means it's
He was
like
in
it was
the
a
south
southern.
of the country.
Oh, it was in the South?
So Quiznos
Okay.
was more of a southern thing.
Okay.
I thought it was more Midwest because I never heard of them anywhere
I don't
else
know.
other than here. I know there was one in. There was one in Sioux Falls too in the mall there for
Yeah.
a while.
There was a couple in Sioux Falls.
A couple of them, but I know one specifically in the mall. Now they have Firehouse subs, which that's really good. They have like some of the.
That's a new thing, yeah.
Those are. I love Firehouse, dude. Like that's really good too. That I don't know if I'd put that as overrated though, because I think it's perfectly rated where it's at. It's good, but it's not great. Maybe I don't know. I'm waiting for Logan to get here because I know what yours is.
Oh, it's the one you want to talk about. There's lots of them. Chick-fil-A is overrated.
Yeah.
See, Dan thinks
True.
Chick-fil-A, which
It is.
I adore Chick-fil-A.
And I'm not saying I like Chick-fil-A. It has probably the greatest beverage ever in fast food.
with their
The,
tea.
Sweet
the
tea.
sweet tea at Chick-fil-A is
I think their
god
lemonade
tier.
is incredible too.
I love it. I'd go there and just get gallons of sweet tea.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But-
I mean, all right. So to
but
be fair,
it
Dan
is-
is a sweet tea guy. He will if given a choice of anything, he will always take sweet tea if that's an option.
That or water. But yes, I love sweet tea a lot. I
That-
love
that's
just
his main
regular
thing.
tea, hot tea, iced tea. It's good. It's good stuff. The
Yeah.
nectar of the gods, some would say.
Mm-hmm.
Some is me.
Logan says that he is in town, so he should be here in like 2 minutes.
You're way over your 15-minute mark, by the way.
He really kind of is, isn't he?
He is. He
It's-
lied.
I think it's been at least 30 minutes since he said 15.
It's been a while. But yes, Chick-fil-A is overrated. It's good, don't get me wrong. I like the place. What really started this argument is because Logan is out of his mind.
Okay,
and
Logan
thinks-
hit the top
and
tier
thinks
on their
Chick-fil-A
membership
is
in
the
3
greatest thing ever devised by man. Yeah, Logan, I'm talking about you. But he would eat there every day for every meal the rest of his life and be okay with it. He's out of his mind. It's not that good. It's just a pretty normal fast food restaurant. It might be a tad healthier than normal fast food restaurants just because they kind of, at least it appears healthier, you know? But
See, because I can't think of a fast food place that has a better chicken sandwich than Chick-fil-A.
I don't think it's that great.
Their spicy chicken sandwich, I am on Logan's side. It is incredibly good.
I've had a bunch of them and it's never jumped out at me. Man, that is awesome. I need that every day of my life.
Well, not every day, which is what Logan thinks. Logan thinks.
I'd go there and I just get the grilled nugs if I get anything.
I think if Logan had his choice, he would have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks.
I know.
Every single day.
He is
And-
a psychopath.
So that is excessive. I will agree. I mean, in that regard, yes, it's overrated. But I don't like. I go there when I go. Like when I was on my road trip, right? When I was in Virginia, I had Chick-fil-A then because we don't have it here, so I don't get it very often. The closest
Okay.
one is in Sioux Falls. It's an hour and a half away.
There's one in Ames.
That's
There's
3
one
hours away.
Is there one in Mankato?
I don't believe
Ames
so.
isn't 3 hours away. But
Actually, maybe
I-
there is one in Mankato. I don't know, but either way, it's an hour and a half, hour 40. So
All
I mean,
know is the one I went to the most was over, and I believe it was Waterloo.
which is how many hours away?
I know.
5.
a long
Like
ways
we don't
away.
have it here. If you want Chick-fil-A, you're driving an hour and a half, which is the same thing for B-dubs though too. I mean, I've driven to Sioux Falls many times. We have driven to Sioux Falls multiple times just specifically to get B-dubs, and then we drive home.
B-Dubs is on a different level than freaking Chick-fil-A though.
Well,
It's
it
true.
is.
Like I was saying
it is, you're right.
yesterday, if I drive somewhere, say we go to Sioux Falls, we go, a road trip.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a dang fast food restaurant.
I
want to
agree.
go someplace good.
Is he finally here?
Sounds like
Is
it.
he here?
Has he returned from the
He
dead?
shows. He brought the dog that looks everything. Failure.
You have failed, Logan.
Ranger's just here. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Sorry, I had dinner with my grandparents.
We missed you. So Logan, Chick-fil-A.
Dan, it's insane. It's not overrated at all.
It's incredibly overrated,
It is
and
so
you
good.
are a lunatic.
This is the conversation I wanted out of this topic.
I think I've found the issue. You've never had true Chick-fil-A.
True Chick-fil-A. You're such
is-
a moron.
It's a chain restaurant. It's
It
the
is
same.
born in
You're
the
an
South,
idiot.
though. It's born in the South.
You're an idiot.
You have to go in
No,
the South. to
you're a
get-
moron. I'm going to
This
call
is
you a
what we're
moron
doing.
because you
Although,
are.
I will say, though, okay, joking
True
aside,
Chick-fil-A.
have you only been in the one in Ames?
No, I've had it a bunch of places.
Because I will say the
I've
one
had it in South Carolina.
Okay. Because I will say the one in Ames, the few times I've been in that one, I'm not big fans. They're just, I don't know, something weird about it.
Okay, so Dan just said a little bit ago, when I go on a trip, I'm not going to a fast food restaurant.
It wasn't
Now-
my choice.
And now Dan says I had it in South Carolina.
Yeah, it wasn't my choice.
I'm just.
We're
pointing that out.
driving
I feel
out.
like-
We're eating in the car. We're not going to be able to go
I
anyplace
understand
good.
that.
Yeah. And I feel like, to an extent, like, I agree with that. Like, I try to want to eat local places, but, like if it's some place that we don't have readily available here, I don't mind going there. Like, Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's is another one down in Georgia that I go to a lot. Because, like, I just can't go there around here unless I go to Ames or Sioux Falls. But
hmm
I've never had Zaxby's.
it's really good. I can't believe I didn't take you there.
Yeah.
I thought, no, we did.
It begins.
Because we
had
got wings.
Wingstop.
We got wings from there, though.
That was Taco Mac.
And Taco
Multiple
Mac.
times.
I thought we went to Zaxby's, too. and got
Nope.
wings. Huh.
Not me. We had Taco Mac multiple times. We went to B-Dubs a couple times, and we had Wingstop. Those were the three wing places I had in Atlanta.
I should have took you to Zaxby's. Yeah, it's like a...
Never had Zaxby's.
Zaxby's is like a... They're known for, like, their chicken fingers. And they're really good, so...
Do you think Domino's Pizza is overrated? Just going to what you said and
I personally think it's the best, like, fast
okay,
food chain
you
pizza.
also worked there for
I
few
did,
months,
but
so.
that was before that.
Honestly, I haven't had Domino's in years.
I think
the
it's-
last time I had it was a while ago. Apparently, it's changed quite a bit over the years.
Didn't you order it here before a show one night?
No, that was Weston.
That was me.
The
Oh, I
last
thought you
time
had
I
a
had
piece.
it was disgusting. That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I,
yeah,
haven't- I
so-
can't give it an accurate depiction of it.
We did have it here back when I was in middle school, and it literally tasted like you were eating the ingredients off of a piece of cardboard. It was bad.
Yeah, it's not that
It was
bad.
atrocious, and now I will
So I don't know.
agree.
I'd have to eat it.
It is one of my favorite pizza. I mean, I'd rather have it over Pizza Hut. I'd rather
Yeah.
have it
Pizza
over.
Hut's gone so
Yeah.
bad.
It has. Well, I think also you only have the experience of the one in your town, which sucks. to
I've
be
had
fair.
it at quite a few places.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I enjoy Pizza
They've
Hut.
changed their recipes at Pizza Hut.
Oh,
Yeah.
did they really?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not just the Esterville one. It's like
No, they've changed
okay.
them, yes.
I thought Esterville just was downhill like your
No.
McDonald's.
You know what
sucked
I
over there,
love
too.
that people don't like? I love Godfathers, man.
Dude, Godfather's is good.
It's
not
so
bad.
It's so
underrated,
expensive.
I
though.
think.
It
Not
is
bad.
so expensive.
Yeah, it can be.
Their biggest.
You got to
pizza,
go on their deals.
Yeah, but their largest pizza, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it like $40 for their jumbo?
No, a jumbo is
Or they're-
not quite $30.
I thought they had one for 40. Like there's one bigger than jumbo, maybe. I thought for 40.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
look this
so.
up.
Not when I was there, at least.
I'm looking this up. I'm gonna go to their website and look at their menu. I would say it's underrated though. I mean,
I think it's underrated.
I really enjoy it. Now that being said, it's not going to be my first choice that I go to. I would much rather have Domino's
I
than
think
Godfather's.
Domino's is my first choice.
Actually, I would even rather
Or-
have.
Honestly, Papa John's ain't bad. I think I'd eat that.
I
too.
don't like Papa John's. I think
I
they're-
have had
they're not
Papa
that great.
John's so much. All right, Godfather's. All right, hey, any website out there if you're watching, okay?
That's bad.
No, when I click on your menu, don't make it a PDF I have to download. Just have it on your website. Is that not the most idiotic thing?
That's pretty
Why
bad.
did they
Did
do
you go
this?
into the order now?
No,
Order
I just
online? Go into order online.
I just clicked on menu on their website and it downloaded a PDF.
It gives you the menu. Go to order and then you can look through all the crap.
Oh, okay. So their super specialty for their jumbo is $33.20. That's an expensive pizza.
Yeah.
For 12
also
slices of
probably a
pizza,
decent
It's
sized
also
pizza.
a big pizza.
it is.
Their
But
jumbo is the biggest thing you're gonna get around here for chain pizza places. Like,
that is
it's
actually
big.
insane that it is $33 though for a pizza.
I've seen some pretty insane prices in
Go
other
to
places
Woody's
as
in
well.
Esterville.
Like even Domino's for their
It's like a
large
medium.
pizza is
Mm-hmm.
what's a
from
large?
Godfather's and
For
it
what?
costs
At
more.
Domino's, like 15.
No, you're right, Dan.
It's terrible.
Yeah, something
And
like
I think
that.
it's
cardboard,
15 at
but-
Domino's and it's $24.89, so $25 for a large. When you could for $10 less, you could go to Domino's, which I think is better.
I don't know. I like Godfather's.
That is incredibly expensive. But yeah, also their website, dude, that's stupid. Why would
My
they make
students could do better.
Why would they make me download a PDF for their menu? That is the biggest bullcrap I've ever seen.
That's dumb.
Because you got the menu. A lot of mobile menus are downloaded PDFs.
Why not just have a link on their site with a picture, like a JPEG
That's
on their
what
site that you can just
Hibachi
zoom in
does.
and do? That's what it should be.
That's what Hibachi does.
Well, that's all Hibachi has.
Okay, but Hibachi
It's just
88
that.
is
Yeah,
also a
that's true.
weird local, not hibachi restaurant.
But it's very good sushi.
I don't care if they have good sushi. They don't have hibachi. And the restaurant's called Hibachi.
And Hibachi technically is the chef.
Yeah, but if they don't have the, I think of it as like the grill in front of you when they make it there. Like that's
like at
when I
Fuji.
say let's go get hibachi. I mean let's go sit down at the in front. They make it in front of you. That in my mind is hibachi.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of it is.
Yeah, and when they don't have that at a restaurant called Hibachi,
It's called Hibachi 88.
oh my bad, Hibachi 88, which
So
is
it's just the name
which
of the
means it
restaurant.
should be 88 times better or 88%.
Is that
Ranger's like, all right, couch
all right.
time.
Well, moving on from pizza, I think Five Guys is super overrated.
I agree.
I can't say
I don't
that
think
I've
it's
ever,
that good
I don't know if
at
I've
all,
ever had
really.
it.
I think the price isn't justified.
It's
I
Oh,
think
super
it's
expensive.
definitely not.
I think
So
it's really
expensive.
good, and I really love their Cajun fries. But like, you spend like $20 on a burger and fries there, like it's ridiculous.
Have I
It's
ever
not
had
that
Five
good.
Guys? I don't even know.
It's not that high quality.
There's like 3 or 4.
Like honestly,
in
if it
Sioux
was
Falls.
Yeah,
it was
I just-
cheaper,
yeah.
it would be there for me, like as one of my favorite fast food places. But the
I don't even
pri-
know then. I didn't like the food that
not for
great,
me
that
either.
well.
When I go to Sioux Falls, Five Guys is the last thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking
Yeah.
B-Dubs or like Famous Dave's Barbecue. You know, like that's really good too.
Mhm.
Like I'm thinking anywhere that is
thinking Asian food.
well, that's yeah, that is true. I mean, I do like Chinese food. I mean, don't get me wrong, but
Well, not
If-
just Chinese, Asian in general.
yeah, like I do enjoy it.
Mongolian,
But
Hoo-ha's so good.
Japanese.
if I have the choice of chicken wings or
Korean.
anything else, I'm picking chicken wings.
we know, and I love chicken wings. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
very good.
You like chicken breast that's been fried and cut in little
No,
pieces.
I love
No,
all chicken wings.
Yeah,
That's okay. I mean, but you ordered yesterday chicken breast.
Yeah, because I didn't want to get messy.
yeah.
Well, at least he didn't argue and say, no, it's a wing. It's not a wing.
I'm
It's a
not.
boneless
We've
wing.
had this discussion.
I know we have.
So.
And multiple times as well.
But
Hi, Ranger baby. Are you sleeping? You going
I'm
to
trying to
take
think
a
of
nap?
what like I'm trying to think of one that I consider overrated, and I really don't. I don't know. I thought it was Burger King for the longest time, but then like, I just hadn't had it since like I literally up
Actually, I
until
love
like
Burger
2 years ago, I hadn't had
Mm.
it until like for like 10 years. Like it's
What's
that
that?
long. Burger King.
Oh.
And so like I always thought it was overrated, and then I had it just randomly. Like, oh, go to
it's
Burger
actually
King.
pretty good, dude.
And it's
See,
actually really good.
I
So-
always refused Burger King. And it wasn't because the food was bad. It was because
For the people who work
the
there,
people
the
that
service.
worked there.
yeah.
The one here is garbage.
It
Yeah.
really
and-
is.
well, see,
It's
that's the
not good.
thing. That's my town. Like I am not gonna go eat at Burger King when the help that's there are like the most disgusting people. Like I don't want them touching my food.
Yeah.
Whether they wash their hands, put on gloves, or what, I don't care. They are like it's actually gross. Like it's people I wouldn't want 10 feet from my food.
Yeah.
You know, like when they're that dirty and smelly, and you can smell them from across the counter.
I don't think it's that bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
before it burnt down, they had a different manager who had like obviously all those people got different jobs now, but the one here burnt down, and ever since they rebuilt it, it is better. I will admit, but it's still
Wow.
not good.
Better, but it also takes way longer.
Yeah.
That's
it's
true.
Only
like
they
two
have
people
2
there.
employees.
It is so ridiculously long.
It's
Well,
stupid.
That's everywhere. I mean, even the what's 1-in-1 down in Arnold's Park. I asked the lady because right now they're carry out only. I was like, when are you going to be open for dine-in? You know, thinking it was something to do with the pandemic. She goes, whenever we get help, I'm the only one here.
They're
So-
also a sit-down restaurant, though, but this is a
Yeah.
fast food
Well, no,
restaurant that
I
only
understand.
has 2 employees.
I understand, but like I'm
A
saying
cook
that's everywhere though. Like the
and
fact that a sit-down
drive-thru.
restaurant has one person to answer phones, cook the food, and bring it out is pretty sad.
Speaking of, 1-in-1 Nashville is dine-in again.
Is
Oh,
it
is it-
finally?
Is it really?
That's what Bethany told me.
Ooh,
That's interesting.
I'm
is
going,
Logan gonna
boys.
disagree with it
Oh.
now because of that?
I love
part?
1-in-1, so.
I
I
love it as
disagree with
well. When are we going?
I'm always down for Chinese food over there. Like
This
that's
weekend,
that's
maybe?
good stuff. It's Christmas this weekend.
Oh,
though.
yeah, it is.
I'll be
Never
going
mind.
this
We're not
weekend,
going.
too.
Sunday it won't be.
That's true.
Yeah, but
I mean, I won't be at church, but.
Yeah, Logan will be in Atlanta.
We'll be
early.
driving
I-
to Georgia, or no, we'll already be there because we leave on Christmas Eve.
I don't plan on leaving my house this entire weekend. The next time I leave my house
So I will be.
after I'm probably gonna go somewhere Thursday, like to help, get groceries or whatever for the Christmas Eve food. But after that, I'm not leaving till Monday. I've already decided. Like, I am going to stay at home. I am not doing a single thing. Because actually, I have to go get my oil changed on Monday and get a new battery in my car. Otherwise, I wouldn't even do that. I would stay in until New Year's if I could. Just do the least amount of work. But I think we're kind of past this topic, I guess.
Yeah.
And plus it's
Where
already,
we get to.
It's already
it's
8.
so we
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
start next one.
The next topic, I will.
Spoiler.
Yep. Spoiler warning.
I am going to lead into this right here. So, we are going to be discussing the new Spider-Man movie. If you have not seen it, there will be spoilers for No Way Home.
Close your ears.
So,
and go away.
if you are here and you haven't seen the movie yet, thanks for watching. I understand you're not going to want to continue. This is the last topic of the night. So, if you have that Prime sub available, feel free and use it. It does help out. Just basically going
and
through
go see
all
the movie.
Just
Yeah,
go
see the
seriously.
movie.
Yeah.
It was good.
I'm just going through all
Fantastic.
the end stuff, though,
Yep.
for them. So if you have that Prime sub, feel free to use it. But otherwise, we are going to be heavily discussing Spider-Man. So just a warning for you, there are spoilers. This is a very heavy spoiler topic. So I'm giving you plenty of time to get out of here. Otherwise, if you've seen the movie or you don't care about the spoilers, obviously feel free to hang out. We would love to have you here. But otherwise, we are going to get into heavy spoiler territory. And you can go back and watch this live, or not live, on our YouTube. You can watch this exact topic after you've seen the movie, which honestly, 10 out of 10 recommend go watch
Oh,
it.
definitely.
Very
So
yeah.
we will start talking about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Logan, what'd you think?
It was amazing. I think probably the best way we could go about it is just break down the movie. Like, go.
First off,
kind
let's
of
start
from the
with just
beginning.
giving it a number out of
Oh, yeah.
1 to
That'd
10.
be a good idea.
I would
Fine.
say 10. I think it's the
You give
best.
it 10?
I think it is right up there for me with Endgame as being the best Marvel movie.
I think it was better than Endgame.
Well,
I think.
Endgame was also incredibly good.
Yeah, Endgame was an emotional roller coaster.
It was, and I
Yeah.
think Endgame had a few things in it that really kind of brought it down for me.
Yeah, Endgame was probably it might get an 8 for me. Endgame. This is probably 9.5 for me.
Yeah, I'd say number 5. I don't want to give it a 10, but yeah.
I
I'd say
don't
9.5.
know if
I don't.
you can give a 10.
I don't give
really.
10s really.
The only one that's in contention with me is Winter Soldier.
That's honestly, these two are tied for my favorite Marvel movie
Yep.
right now.
Mine too. But what do you think, Weston?
I'm giving it about a 9.5 myself.
Yeah?
I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
It honestly, like I said, I've seen it twice now. I went Thursday night with all of you guys, and
Yep.
then I went Friday night with my dad
Yep.
and my brother.
I've seen it twice as
And
well.
Yep.
it was better the second time. And there's a few things that I wanted to like go look at because I wasn't sure if I caught it or like it just seemed like a weird. There's a couple areas where I'm like that could be a plot hole. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to get it, but I feel like the whole point of the movie, and you guys can answer this because you're obviously gonna know. I want to know what you guys think here.
Possibly.
Was to basically what happens is they bring in people from other realities, which is other Spider-Mans and the villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
They discussed that they pulled the villains in the moment before they died. And
Not
that-
all of them.
Not
They
necessarily.
say that in the trailer, and
Yeah.
I
they even said it in the movie.
no, I thought so too. But then when me and Dan watched it the second time, they say that about Doc Ock and Green Goblin.
Yes.
They don't say that about
Okay, but
Kurt
those
Connors and then
Or Sandman.
Sandman.
okay, but
'Cause
those two
Electra
specifically,
says, "Dang, I was
Yeah.
about to die."
those two specifically. Then we can talk about it this way.
Yeah.
If he was, because Doc Ock drowned trying to like shut down his own machine, right?
Yep.
And Green Goblin was impaled by his own thing.
Glider.
So
Glider. Yep.
what is stopping that from happening when they return? Or
They didn't say it was at
Yeah.
that right moment either. They just said, "Oh,
So-
he died."
They said
fighting
that the
Spider-Man.
last thing I remember is
He's
I
dead.
had him by the throat and then I was here.
Yeah, and that was the scene where he like talks him down, like
Yeah.
gets him to.
There's a
come back.
significant amount of time between him dying and that
Mhm.
moment.
But wouldn't they remember that he was going down underwater with his machine?
No.
They don't even say that. They just say, "Oh yeah, I
He
had
doesn't
him by the
he
throat,
doesn't remember
and
that.
then I was
That
here."
happens
No.
after.
Yep.
It does.
Because
There's a
This
long
is-
fight scene before
Yep.
all
They
that
have time.
happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
The part that he's talking about where he's got Spider-Man by the throat is like when Peter talks him down, like basically helps him switch the arms back to his control, like
Pretty much.
right before that scene. But no, he's not like in the water at that point. So there's still some time in there, and who knows? Maybe it changes the timeline so
So do
drastically
you think
too.
then
Like,
what could happen is they were pulled out at that moment, and then he's like, okay, now I'm gonna help Peter. Like, I'm gonna bring this machine down because now I'm good. Do you think it was because of what they did in this movie?
No,
You don't think so?
that happened already anyway.
Yeah.
This is a change. It's
And-
not going to be the same reality anymore.
No, I think it's. I
But
think
you
it
have-
branches off those realities.
branch.
Because you have to
reality.
realize he already saved the Green Goblin,
Yeah.
Norman Osborn. So at this point, it's already a different reality.
Yeah, because if you think
Going
about it,
back, that whole fight where he dies isn't going to happen.
yeah, exactly.
It's
so
not Green Goblin.
so
It was just
Spider-Man
Norman.
2 doesn't happen the way it did. Spider-Man 3 then doesn't happen the way it did because there's no Doc Ock or Green Goblin that happened before.
So they're pulled out of branches of the same reality.
Yeah.
So, because obviously at that point, then Sandman would not be there.
Yeah.
In the
When
way
they
that
go
he was
back,
there.
they're different realities.
Yep. So it basically it starts off with them in the normal, so like the Sam Raimi movies, it's how it takes place. But when they go back, it splits off the reality into this alternate timeline where they were saved and they were like depowered and
a
stuff.
branch reality. Yeah.
So
Okay. Because I feel like there's just a few moments in that movie that I was like, okay, well, looking back on it now, it just in my mind, I'm like, so where did they come from then, and like how does that affect the movie from before?
no, it doesn't affect the movies from
It
before.
doesn't. No.
Because that's the
Okay.
normal reality. Because like if you look at Tobey Maguire, right? Like he talks about the events from all three movies of how they happened. Like he talks about how Harry, his best friend, about killed him, and then he died in his arms. Like that wouldn't have happened if Norman Osborn didn't get killed by the glider. Like that would have changed the whole reality of that situation. So it's still happened the way it did in the movies, but they basically made alternate timelines for those universes.
And there's infinite amount of those timelines, infinite amount of those universes.
Yep,
Like,
exactly.
it's never ending. So
God, speaking of Tobey Maguire, I absolutely love that they had like the reference to his middle back problems. That was so funny to me. He's
was
like, I have
so
sort of
good.
a middle back thing from swinging, because if you don't know, they almost had to like get a different Spider-Man for Spider-Man 2 because he was having back issues before they
'cause
started
he had,
filming.
He had like some injury.
So he said, I want more money because of my back injuries, or or they were gonna recast him.
Yeah.
And I love the fact
and there's the
that
meme from Spider-Man 2
about his
my back.
yeah. So I just think that's hilarious that they referenced that.
I know.
And there was a few moments where they had the references to the older
Yeah,
movies.
I like that a lot.
And they did it
When
quite a few times.
when Norman Osborn goes, I'm somewhat of a scientist
that was
myself,
really funny.
Yeah.
which is exactly what he says.
Or the power of the sun.
In the
Oh my hand.
Yeah.
I was kind
They
of
did lots
bummed
of
though.
that
Like
stuff.
when we went the first night, people laughed and understood those. But then the second night we went, me and Dan, nobody understood those references. Like, oh, this is sad.
Well, do you think
not
it's because the
everyone's
second
seen
time
them
you
all or
went?
Yeah.
understands that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the second time you went, it was more high schoolers, you said, versus.
Yeah, high schoolers. And
So maybe the younger crowd just didn't.
yeah, which is sad because
You want to get up and let Ranger out?
He's out. You just need to close the door.
Oh, the door was open. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he shut the door when he came
Nope.
in. My bad. I can't see the door from this angle.
How dare you?
But yeah, I think
Failure.
let's talk about kind of the beginning of the movie, like, and then kind of
You
work
should
our
be.
way. I feel like we're just kind of jumping right to the Toby and Andrew stuff and like the final fight stuff. I think just the whole beginning is amazing. Like, I love how it's just a direct continuation from Far From Home,
Yep.
and how they just continue that whole scene.
It's
And
just
act-
setting the stage.
Yeah, and fun fact, one of my friends that I grew up with, she's actually in that scene.
Really?
She's one of the people that crowds him right when
Is
they,
she the
like-
one that yells, "Spider-Man hit me"?
No, that
Okay.
was
Gosh.
we would not be friends. No, yeah, she's one of my childhood
An
friends,
extra
and
there.
she was an extra in that scene. So
That's awesome.
But that was so I didn't know that until she told me. But anyway, yeah, like the whole beginning plot of him trying to get into college, and then the whole thing with they can't because all these legal troubles they're in.
Yeah.
It's really setting the stage. It's
Yeah.
a prologue.
Which which goes into something I really want to talk about is Matt Murdock.
That was
The,
great.
the
That was
Netflix
phenomenal.
Daredevil is now
Charlie Cox.
in
Well,
the MCU.
did you see the most recent Hawkeye
Yes.
episode?
Yep.
At
Yeah.
the very tail end.
Yeah. So like
What was he?
he's the lawyer.
Okay.
The
I'm a
really
very
good lawyer. He's a very
How
good
did
lawyer.
you do that?
So he's
I'm a really good
so-
lawyer.
So he's Daredevil in the comics. He's a blind superhero.
Okay, I guess I did
has,
not know that.
he's
Yeah,
the same.
Uh-huh.
There's the Netflix Daredevil
Yeah.
series, and he's
Okay.
the same Daredevil.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
because during the movie when we were at the theater, Logan was sitting next to me, and when he popped up, he goes, "No way, that's awesome!" And I'm like, "Who
Yeah.
the heck is that?" You
Yeah.
know, I had no idea.
Yeah. So
Which that doesn't necessarily make Daredevil
Well,
series canon.
I think it does because of the Hawkeye. last Hawkeye episode. Once you watch it, I think it pretty much.
Have you seen it?
It's Kingpin. I
Yeah.
understand. No, you can always guess that. I
Yeah.
guessed it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't mean the series is canon, though.
Yeah.
There's infinite amounts of universes. You know this, right? So they can
Yeah.
retcon whatever they want to make it work with the MCU. Is
Yeah,
what I'm
I just
saying.
feel like the way the the way the whole first season of Daredevil is, I've started watching it. I never really finished it. I watched a few episodes when it first came out, but I never got that far
great.
into it. But I'm really loving it so far. But the whole like first season is basically the whole plot is around Battle of New York, because it's like that's how Kingpin
It's
got into
afterwards.
power, and like he used that that event to kind of gain the status he does, and that's how
and gain more foothold.
yeah. And so, and they reference it a lot. Like they reference the Battle of New York a lot. There's like newspapers. There's a whole bunch of things that say it. And I think there's nothing that I've heard or seen from the even future seasons that contradict the MCU. So I feel like if they're just gonna get the same actors, why not just make
The
it?
thing is, if that's canon, though, the rest of the shows are canon too, and
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to use that.
Yeah, I've
I
heard.
mean, could they just make an exception for one show though and be like, yeah, so this one is canon?
They're probably not,
Yeah.
because
They all intertwine.
There was
Oh,
a Defenders
okay.
yeah,
series.
Defenders.
Okay,
And I
haven't
found
seen
all of
it.
Have
them
you?
together.
So have you seen all of them? Because I've heard the only really bad one is Iron Fist.
I haven't watched the second season. I heard the second season's actually way better than the first one.
It was better, but it wasn't great.
But
Yeah.
I've heard the other ones are good.
Iron
I've
Fist
watched
was
Punisher.
meh.
That's good.
Punisher's really good.
Yeah.
Punisher's phenomenal.
Daredevil's the best. I think Punisher's second best.
Mm-hmm.
The first season of Luke Cage was pretty good. The first season of Jessica Jones was actually phenomenal.
It really was.
That's probably tied with Punisher, honestly, because David Tennant as the Purple Man is fantastic.
David Tennant's
Watch
great.
that one.
So tying this back into Spider-Man though, because I don't
Yep.
want us to get, because we're
Yeah.
already I know we're
Well,
going to be talking about this for a while.
They all have
We're
to
already
do with
short
each
on
other,
time,
all
so.
the
Yeah,
characters.
no.
So.
But just like I thought that was really cool, and like just to show how crazy this movie is, like that after the movie, like I was thinking about all the crazy stuff and like really trying to talk with people about it, and that was a crazy moment in itself. Like Daredevil's in the MCU now, and it's just so much more crazy things that I just didn't even think about it, and it didn't hit me the next day at school when I was talking to Trevor. It's like, yeah, Daredevil's in the MCU now. Like that's crazy. It just goes to show like how big this movie is and how many things it does.
Yeah.
Very well. Like
Very
they did it
well.
perfectly, to be
I
honest.
saw
Yes.
someone say that this movie is just an appetizer for what's to come in the next Doctor Strange movie as well.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it definitely plays into that. I think it
I wouldn't
sets
call
up.
it an appetizer.
Yeah.
Well, no,
this
that
is an
that is
entree
what.
in and of itself.
Well, no, that's what somebody called it. Like
Sure.
one of the people working on the new Doctor Strange movie said this movie. Like if you think
I think I
this
get
is
what
good,
they mean.
Yeah, it's a
they
beginning
were like,
part.
you think this
Yeah.
is good? It's just an appetizer, like the pregame meal. Before.
Yeah, and I also think they mean
what's
like the
gonna
whole multiverse stuff. Like this is a
Yeah, that's
very
what they mean.
small taste
Yeah.
of the multiverse.
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
if you will.
Which
So,
I
yeah, I
am-
get that.
I'm so excited though. Like
Yeah,
there's so many things about this movie that even not being a huge Marvel nerd like you guys all are, I still understood a lot of what was going on, and I loved it. Like it was fantastic.
yeah,
There were so many moments where I was like, okay, that is hilarious. Like the humor was perfect. Like it's my sense of humor. It's just like the kind of like this like stupid one-liners. Like when Aunt
Yeah.
May was talking to Doc Ock, she's like, "Are you thirsty?"
that
And he
was
goes,
really
"Yes."
funny.
Okay, do you want fresh or salt water? Because you're an octopus. Like
That was really
to
funny.
me, that was hilarious.
That was
dude.
really funny.
I died laughing in the
What I
theater when
love
they
though,
said
like that was, there's some great humorous parts in the movie, but they didn't go overboard.
No,
Yeah,
the
they
humor.
didn't go overboard. Yeah,
which
you're right.
I think a lot of Marvel movies, especially the ones where there's lots of people intertwined, tend to do.
They
I
try
think
to
they go overboard.
Yeah.
yeah,
There was a seriousness to
Yes.
this movie that was
Well,
fantastic.
it was kind of the origin of Spider-Man. Like I know we've had Spider-Man
It's
now
a true
for-
origin
It's a true origin.
for
Like
the
it's
Spider-Man that we know.
yeah, it's the 1st movie where he's like actually has a heart. Like he actually has like I mean, obviously Iron Man was a big part of his life, but like
Yeah.
the Aunt May, like that's his Uncle Ben, which I thought was really cool or interesting because
It's a good take.
I always had assumed like because I felt like they've referenced Uncle Ben before, and like not as directly
Not in
said,
this one, have they?
but I thought they had like a line. And
I don't know
wanna
if they ever say Uncle Ben.
I don't think
Yeah.
they ever
I think
did.
they talk about maybe an uncle.
Yeah,
They don't say Ben, and they don't go any further. I don't
yeah,
think.
but I just thought that was interesting how they just kind of completely throw that idea out the window. Be like, oh no, he's like basically never existed. Like it's Aunt May now, and that's
Yeah.
the only one.
Which is
fine
fine.
by me
Yeah,
because
I don't
in the
mind it.
original comic, it wasn't actually Uncle Ben who said that line anyway.
Yeah, yep,
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's fine by me. As long as they do it tastefully. They did very tastefully.
And another thing I think they did really well is the Doctor Strange stuff. Like he wasn't in it a ton. Like he was in it
He was a
like, big
pivotal
parts.
character, but not a main
Yeah,
character.
and
He was
I,
a setup character.
yeah,
He was.
yep. And I love how they did that whole, dynamic between the two of them of like,
That was good, yeah.
One of my favorite parts, though, is when like at the Statue of Liberty and Strange comes back. He's like, I've been dangling over the Grand Canyon for 12 hours, and Andrew
could've
Garfield
used
goes,
your help.
He goes,
Used your
you went
help."
to the Grand Canyon? We could have used your help. Like,
dude, Andrew Garfield,
dude, he was so funny.
they redeemed that
He was
Spider-Man so much for me.
fantastic. I don't even like his humor was cool. I didn't care, but my part, like his emotional scenes, his serious scenes,
Yeah.
Yes.
were
Like when he
so
saved MJ.
Good,
So, MJ,
Yeah, saving
so
MJ.
good.
yeah,
And like,
Like
thinking
he
back,
did
like
a
I
phenomenal job,
yeah, he did.
and they definitely they played off obviously like the Amazing Spider-Man series, like
Yeah.
it's kind of number 3, right? They played off that a lot,
Yeah.
and it worked. But like he did so good in that movie.
I was gonna say, I love
Spider-Man
it.
3,
When
Peter
he-
3.
Yeah,
Well-
when he goes, I'm lame compared to you guys, and Tobey Maguire goes,
you're
no, you're
amazing.
amazing. No, I'm lame. No,
Get that
you're
self-talk.
amazing.
You're amazing.
You are amazing.
I need to hear that.
I just felt some guy in a rhinoceros machine.
Wanna
Yeah, some
fight an
Russian
alien?
guy riding around in a rhinoceros machine. Like, I'm lame compared to you guys. No, you're amazing. Dude, that was
good.
so funny. And
The,
I mean,
the dynamic between the 3 was really
Yes,
good.
I love
Yeah.
the scene where they're making the cures and like just in the lab and like
I love
Peter,
how
yeah?
I love how it really emphasized how genius they all are.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
How
Yeah.
Peter Parker is a literal genius. Like,
Yep.
It's great.
yeah.
But they each played their part. How they were different kind of Peter Parkers and different kind of Spider-Man in their each way, and they
Well,
each
yeah.
played that part. Like Toby really brought the I'm the experienced one who's been around the block.
Yes.
Okay, I can
Yep.
bring that, but he
Yes.
still had the same feel as like from the Sam Raimi
Yep.
trilogy. Like, he had
what
that
was that,
feel.
20 years ago? The first one came out in 2001,
Quite a while, yeah.
right?
Like
2002.
Was it
something
2001
like
or
that.
2?
2002.
but
Okay.
like even his dialogue and just the way he talked, like it was the same. And I
Yes.
Yeah.
like that. I appreciate that. Was
Yep.
great.
Yep.
The same with Andrew. Like
Yeah.
he had the same stuff, the same kind of witty, remarks and stuff.
Yeah.
And played off of how he was in the Sony trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he's the younger than Toby, but still been around a little bit more than Tom.
Yeah.
So he had that experience too, and he had the really like he's still getting over his loss while Toby has been okay for a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
And that helped with Tom's loss.
Yeah.
So they just did a super good job with that.
See,
It's
one of my
so
big
good.
regrets is that I never actually saw The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You're not missing out.
Well,
It wasn't
I
great,
wish I
but-
would have seen it like going into this one though. Like I feel
Sure,
like
yeah.
it's a
It
movie
would've
that
been
I
good.
wish I saw before I saw
Would
this.
have helped
'cause-
with the whole Electro thing.
Yeah, because
so-
like Electro and the wasn't there another villain from that too, or was it just
Yeah, Green Goblin. That was just terrible.
yeah, that one he wasn't in this movie though.
okay?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, like the
Thankfully.
whole Electro situation. Like I've never seen that villain. I saw the first one at the drive-in theater here, but
Which was I actually like the first one. think
I
the first
really
one's
They
really
did a
enjoyed
pretty
it,
good
which
job,
is
yeah.
why when
I'm not-
everyone's
yeah.
I
talking
wish
about how
the
it's a
wizard
bad
looked
movie,
a little different,
I
but
didn't
that's
get it.
Yeah, I
just
wish he had the
personal
I wish he
thing.
had the snout, but because he kind of looks like a Goomba from the Mario movie.
Right.
Not gonna lie.
Right. But
I love when
I
he's
think they
like, "Did you get a
actually did improve
makeover?
it, though.
I can give you a makeover."
Like I
turn me
felt
into a
like
lizard?
the
Yes.
model they used for the movie for him. He looked different. Like he looked a bit better to me. Like obviously he didn't have the snout, but I felt like they narrowed his face a bit more, and I feel like they changed his eye color too.
I'm not sure.
See, I don't remember him all that much in that first one though, which is really really weird.
He's the main villain, so
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but like I just for whatever reason in my mind, I wasn't like, "Oh, that's the main villain
Sure.
from that one."
Yeah. But
yeah.
I don't know why.
I loved like they really did like especially the 3 villains like justice, but all of them
Yes.
like they really did the villains justice.
yeah, yep.
They changed Electro completely and it worked. It was
really
good.
And they mentioned that in the
Yeah.
movie too. Like
Yeah.
the last time I
They-
saw
they made
you,
it
you
work,
had
too.
glasses and a comb over.
They made it
or
work.
something, you know?
They explained it through like the new energy and stuff of the different universe. Which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah, they made it work.
They
Gonna
made it
stand
more
here
comic
pretend I'm not
accurate,
bucket
which is
ass
great. Doc Ock was fantastic.
Yes.
Green Goblin stole the show for me.
I was gonna say
Yes.
I think that William Dafoe was
He-
one of the
so
best
good.
Such a
characters in the
good
whole
portrayal
movie.
of the character.
I
He
loved it
nailed it.
because Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, is the arch nemesis. He is the #1 villain for Spider-Man, and I love how they made that
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
So-
he was.
He was the
Yeah.
main villain. Yeah.
He he's so evil. Like
Yeah.
Goblin is evil, and I love how they played off of that.
Yeah.
And they added a brutality to it, which was just
Yeah.
phenomenal.
What was
the
the
fight
line?
scenes? Wow.
What was
so
the line
good.
that he had? He's like, when you're a god, you don't have to choose.
Yeah.
You just take. And that's when he, like,
Yeah, he,
that's
like,
when
that's
everything just turned.
Which I love that scene because I love the whole, they're making the cures, and then Peter just like gets hit with this overwhelming spider sense, like probably the
Yeah.
most he's ever had.
Yeah.
He's trying to
And,
narrow
like,
down who it
He's
is.
walking
he's looking
around,
at every person
and I love the
individually.
shot, like the camera work in that scene is amazing. Like, I was just on his face, and he's walking around,
but
like,
it's like shaky a little
whoa,
bit too.
like what's going on?
It's a
And-
serious moment that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like, I just love his whole, thought process and everything. Norman, obviously, his fight scenes. Holy crap! Like when
Yeah.
he suplexes Spider-Man through like 4 floors.
Yes.
Like that is
That was
amazing.
incredible.
That was awesome.
That whole fight scene is so cool.
it's really good.
Like I love that brutality. But like the whole, you are the power of a god. Like, you have the power of a god, but you're
Yeah.
so weak. And
You're
can't-
not-
You
you're
won't
afraid
use
to
it. You
use
won't take. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to take away. It's so Green Goblin. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm going to take away the one thing that is stopping you.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
obviously he killed
Which
Aunt
they
May.
did a really good job, I think.
Yeah,
of like
yeah.
they showed. I don't want to say
it's so
weak.
good. Yeah.
Like I don't want to say they made Spider-Man weak for the first fight, but he obviously between the first fight with the
Yeah.
Green Goblin and then the second one, there was that switch got flipped. You know,
He's
and
not
it-
resolute.
and
Yeah.
he's not
You know?
holding back, which was so cool.
Yeah,
to see
which
in
I
the
love
second one.
because I love that part where Goblin's like kind of beaten down a little bit in that final fight, and he goes, "You don't have the strength to kill. You don't have the, or you're too weak, and you're gonna try to cure me, or something like that." And then
no,
Peter
he
goes,
says you're
I just
too
want to
afraid.
kill you.
Yeah,
Myself.
well, no, that's
What he said was you're too weak to send me back to die.
Yes,
and he said
yep,
no because I
yep.
want to kill you
Yeah,
myself.
I thought
Yeah.
that was
It's good.
awesome.
That was
and I love
such a
how
great moment.
Toby
That
steps
shows-
in,
Yep.
and like that's like the perfect moment. Like for that, I mean, it makes sense why Toby's the one to step in. Like obviously Andrew
been
and Toby,
there.
but he's
Yeah.
been there.
He has that experience.
Yep.
You know when he
And he's conquered it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Andrew hasn't conquered it yet. He
Yep.
even mentioned that, or he's just
Yeah, he stopped
in the
pulling his
process
punches.
of doing it. You know,
Overcoming it,
but
yep.
Yeah,
that's why the experience, Spider-Man. I love that the old Spider-Man. And he saves him from becoming someone he's not.
Yeah.
Who's
Yep.
The,
Yeah.
the polar opposite of who
Yeah.
Who
quintessentially
Spider-Man
is
is.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just love that whole. He's prodding him. He knows he's okay with dying if it breaks him.
Yep. Exactly.
Green Goblin. It's like, what's he say? Oh yeah, I took away your one, hold up or whatever. You're welcome. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
he says that to him after he kills
Yeah.
Aunt May. Like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Which I had that part spoiled for me, which breaks my heart. The Aunt May death. Someone
I
came-
kind of knew it.
Well,
I
someone
figured
came
that might
in-
happen.
Well,
Yeah.
all right, so everyone kind of figured it might happen, but how it happened and stuff. Because here's what was going on. I was streaming Minecraft, and someone came in with a Twitch account named Green Goblin Kills Aunt May, and they
That's so
followed.
dumb.
So that popped up on my screen, and I was like,
That's
that
so
was
dumb.
that was
Just
Wednesday.
trolls.
We saw it Thursday. That was the day before. Someone had that part ruined for me, and I was like, okay, well that's like the most emotional.
Yeah.
Death. Like that's gonna be the most emotional part of the movie, and now I know it's coming. So I'm sitting in the theater.
It's what's needed
And
for
I-
Spider-Man being Spider-Man.
Well, no, it is, but I'm just saying the part, like the fact that it was ruined for me in
Right.
that way, like because they made her when she died, they played it off as like, okay, she's fine when she stood up, right?
Yeah, I like
Like
how they did that.
they were fine. Like they made it seem like she was
You could
fine.
tell
and
she
was gonna be
wasn't,
okay.
though.
Yeah, like I see.
You could tell, but just knowing like, okay, she's not fine. She's going to die here.
Yeah.
kind of ruined that part a little
well,
bit.
see,
When
I
it all
was
started going down and she was actually in the
Uh-huh.
apartment, I'm like, all right, she's gonna die. And then it just
Yeah.
solidified it when I saw the glider come down. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, she's done.
yeah. See, I thought that's the same way I thought, and then she stands up and they're talking for a bit. It's like, oh, maybe
I'm like,
she's
you can
okay.
tell she's gone.
And then she just like drops down, and it's like, oh, so she is gonna die.
Yeah, it was great. They did it really well. That is needed completely for Spider-Man to become Spider-Man, and she drops the biggest line
Yep.
that's needed too.
Yep.
His his mantra for all
Great
all
power.
of time after that.
yeah,
But he really becomes Spider-Man, and I knew they were gonna do like the one more day type thing where they really erase the memories of everyone he cares about. No, everyone forgets him.
yeah,
And I knew that he wasn't gonna tell her.
Yeah.
Because he is Spider-Man and he loves her and he's going to protect her
Yep.
the best way he can. That means taking himself out of the equation because he gets her hurt. You
Yep.
know,
Mm-hmm.
it's so good,
Mm-hmm.
so good, and him being on his own, you got to make that rent, sacrificing Peter Parker, which is Spider-Man, the essence of Spider-Man, sacrificing his human side
Help me out here.
to be the hero.
That apartment that he had, that wasn't the same apartment in the
No,
first
it
one.
wasn't.
It just looked like it.
I wish.
It looked like a
It
little
looked
bit.
very
it wasn't.
similar.
It's just a crappy apartment in New York.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
it
whole
looked
point.
very, very similar to
Yeah.
that. I thought it was at first, but then the second time I saw it, I'm like, no, maybe it's not. But
That'd be so great that they brought him back.
Right, that'd be hilarious.
And he's like,
well, didn't
"But we
they?
didn't."
Wasn't his voice in the background when they said rent's
I
due
don't
on the
think it
third?
was him.
It
No,
sounded
I don't
very
think it was
much
him.
I
like
don't think
that.
it was.
Okay, I thought it
But
was.
I think that was kind of just an Easter egg throwback, though.
I thought that was his voice.
Yeah,
in
and
the
I just
background.
love that whole ending scene too, where he's like becoming like the classic Spider-Man, where he's on his
Yep.
own. He makes the suit. You see the sewing machine. Like it's not.
Mhm.
It's no longer
Yeah.
this Stark Tech suit. Like it's just
It's
classic
becoming
Spider-Man.
the street level hero that everyone
Mhm.
needs, that gets crapped on by the Daily Bugle.
Yep.
But it's just he is pure self-sacrifice, and
Yeah.
I love it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
So I do have a question, and this is something I've been thinking about for a while. So obviously, Spider-Man has always existed. Like that didn't change. But Peter Parker is basically wiped from reality.
Yep.
So would the relationship between Peter and Doctor Strange change much if he just told him, "Yeah, I'm Peter Parker"? Because I feel like he knows more Spider-Man than he does Peter Parker.
Yeah, I don't
'Cause
think
they
it would
fought
change
together.
all that much.
I don't know. Like they did get to know each other.
Yeah, not much. I
Like-
mean,
But that was also
He knows
more
him.
as Spider-Man.
No, not really. Like throughout even Infinity War and like Endgame
I
and
guess
stuff.
yeah.
Like
It was
even
mostly-
like you see it in his conversation, like when he's like, "I still forget. I'm sorry. Like you're just a kid." Like
Yeah.
he knows him as the kid.
That's true. That's true.
Or Stark's, calls him the kid too. He knows him
Yeah.
as the kid, not as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So now he would know him as Spider-Man, and then it might be a shock saying,
You're just a kid.
You are a kid,
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And then you'd have to get to know him. So it
Yeah.
would shift dynamics just a little bit.
I'm just really like excited for Spider-Man 4 when it comes out. Just to see like the dynamic between characters, like
Yeah.
or like I think I've seen that they've confirmed that he's going to be in another MCU movie before Spider-Man 4, which
Probably.
Who's Spider-Man?
yeah. So
I haven't
that
seen
makes
that, but
sense.
that wouldn't.
Um,
surprise
Well, I
me.
mean, all right. So here's the thing: do you think it would be like, since they obviously at the end, like the post-credit scene, they had the symbiote for
They had
Venom.
yeah.
Do you think the Venom's going to have his own standalone movie where Spider-Man's going to be in it, or do you think he's
I-
the villain in the next
I
movie?
think he's in the
He'll be a villain next one.
And I don't
Okay.
think
That's
Sony's going to let them do a solo Spider-Man movie or Venom movie.
No,
I think that's
they won't. And I'm so glad they did how they
Dude,
did.
that was
Like,
so good.
like
I loved
don't,
it.
I was talking to you earlier. Like I like Tom. I love Tom Hardy actually. I don't like Sony with their writers. They're
No,
not good.
I don't blame you.
I enjoyed the first Venom movie. I didn't like the second one at all. And I'm glad that it's not the same Venom because that character just doesn't fit written wise into
Yeah.
the MCU.
So, do you think that the Venom's going to be Flash Thompson then?
I hope not. I absolutely hope not.
No.
I actually think that they
Because
it
I
has a
honestly
chance.
think, well, the thing is, though, I feel like they're going to have the same issue that they did with Spider-Man 3. Like, he's not this, he's kind of just this jerk version of Peter Parker. And it's like, I don't know. I just don't.
doesn't fit the
and he's
character at
also
all.
not, yeah, he's also not the character.
I think it's gonna be Eddie Brock.
And honestly, too, like,
Isn't that who it was in?
that's, well, yeah,
The
but
original?
they could have an Eddie Brock in MCU.
It's
like,
gonna be an Eddie Brock.
I think
Because Flash doesn't become Venom for a long
yeah,
time.
that's the
after.
thing too. Like he becomes, they're like adults way into this, and like he was a soldier,
He's a veteran
And
who loses
who
his
loses
legs,
legs,
in Afghanistan.
and then he becomes Agent Venom.
yeah, he
like
becomes Agent Venom.
I mean, couldn't they just still make it work in the MCU though?
nah, I don't think with this Flash. I think if they did, they'd have to wait a while to like
yeah.
develop the character.
He's
got to
grow up
up.
and
yeah,
be different and stuff, you know.
yeah.
He has to actually mature.
But I think they're setting up for an Eddie Brock thing because I
I
think
hope so. I
we're
like
getting
Eddie Brock more.
Obviously, like one thing I noticed in the movie is they're building up to Daily Bugle. Like it starts off and it's just in his apartment and this crappy green screen and like all this stuff. Well, then it goes into the studio and then there's a few camera people with him, and then at the end there's a ton of people in the studio with him. Like it's showing this progression in this company, and I think the next movie they're gonna look for like photographers or something to
Hopefully.
get pictures of Spider-Man.
That makes
and
sense.
I think that's how Eddie Brock is gonna get introduced, and then Peter's gonna need a job because he needs to pay rent, and he's
That would make sense. I
and he
mean, that-
knows, well, I'm
yeah.
Spider-Man, so I can get pictures of myself, right? Like the whole classic thing.
Yeah.
And
Do you think they would rehash the story of the original trilogy that much though?
well, I mean that's just Venom's origin, like, or that's the story of Venom and like Spider-Man, like that's
Partially, yeah.
yeah.
It's not like it didn't come from Sam
Well, no,
Raimi.
but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would be
I think
you
it's
know,
been long enough for those movies.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
it
MC,
depends on how they tell
Yeah,
it
They
as
can
well.
do it.
and I don't think
very
they're gonna
differently with
rehash
still
it either.
Same source material, you know.
Yeah.
Because if you stop and think, a lot of movies are actually the same base story. It's just they're told a different way.
Yeah.
So I think that's how they're going to do it.
And I think the MCU doesn't fit the Raimi thing anyway. So like, even if they did do the exact same thing, where it's like they're rival photographers, and then Peter exposes them like for doing fake photos. Like if they did it that route, it'd still feel a lot different.
Yeah, I'm really kind of confused though, because I don't know. I guess how many more Spider-Man movies do you think they're planning on?
So
doing?
they confirmed another trilogy.
Did they confirm
yes,
3
yep.
more?
3 are
Yep,
confirmed.
Sony confirmed a trilogy.
Okay, I guess I didn't see that they confirmed 3 more. So
Yep.
Sony, just stop.
Yeah, they're kind of screwing
Stop.
Marvel right now, but
Stop
I
and
mean-
let Marvel do your stuff.
I'm happy they're doing another trilogy. I love Tom
oh,
Holland
absolutely.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it's gonna be Tom Holland all the way through though, or are they gonna?
Yeah, I think so.
I would imagine so.
I also saw something today. I don't know how true this is, but that Sony executives are talking about doing an Andrew Garfield project and like maybe
that was
doing.
trending on Twitter too.
I don't
Yeah.
think any
Amazing
of that's real. I
Spider-Man
know
3 was
like
trending.
some
Yeah.
fans are like people say, oh, fans really want Amazing Spider-Man 3 to come back and just happen,
Yeah.
And I'm like, I
I
don't
would
know.
love that. I would love it.
I don't want that. I don't want Amazing Spider-Man 3. I want another Andrew Garfield movie, but not because what they had for Amazing Spider-Man 3 was terrible.
Like,
Like
doesn't mean they
it
can.
was
I mean, they
Sinister
can
Six.
change it
Well,
now though.
Sinister Six, but also the guy who played Captain Stacy was talking about is an interview. I think right when 2 came out or something.
Dennis
How
Leary.
like they had plans for 2 or they had plans for 3 to like bring him back because there's this like genetic thing that Oscorp had that can bring people back from the dead, and that's he was gonna bring Gwen Stacy and Captain Stacy back, and it was gonna be like this crazy like almost like spider clone thing too.
So Clone Saga.
Clone Saga.
It'd be the Jackal then.
And so
The Jackal does bring all of them back as clones,
yeah, and so
and that causes
I
lots of
feel-
issues.
I feel like that would not have been great,
You
especially
can't do that in one movie. Like a Clone Saga movie would be so ridiculous.
yeah.
Like
That needs to be,
that
like,
that
2 or
era
3.
of comics is like really highly controversial because it's
Yeah. Do you think they'd ever do Clone Saga? Because I know a lot of people don't like it from what I've heard. Like they
I
think
don't-
it's really
I
terrible.
don't know. Like it could the way in comics it happens. No, absolutely not. But they could introduce like really cool characters. Like Ben Reilly's
Yeah,
sick.
Ben Reilly's sweet.
Kane is sick.
Mhm.
If they do like Spider Side as a villain or something, that'd be really cool too.
Mhm.
But no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they just they do a Spider-Verse movie
Yeah.
more than that happening, And
I-
they could
I
just
do like how
introduce
they
like
reference
Kane
that, too.
and they could introduce Kane and Ben Reilly and all those other characters. But
I love how they
That'd be cool.
mentioned or reference the multiverse or what was it, the Spider-Verse movie with Miles Morales. I love how they brought that up just when Electro
yeah,
was
where
like,
it's
I'm
like-
sure there's a black Spider-Man out there
Yeah.
somewhere.
That was really funny.
That I was like, okay, like that's a good little touch, I think.
I mean, Miles Morales has been confirmed since Homecoming in the
Yeah,
MCU.
yep. He is in the
He's just
MCU.
not Spider-Man yet.
Not yet. Which maybe Spider-Man 5.
I don't know.
I think you got to have one movie where
It'll be a
he's-
standalone,
yeah.
which
But
would be cool.
yeah.
I like Miles Morales
I think
a
it'd
lot.
be sick to see Miles in MCU.
I mean, I'd love honestly, a Spider-Gwen movie would be sick.
That'd be sick
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I love that character. It's when Gwen Stacy becomes Spider-Woman instead.
yeah, I actually saw a thing today.
She has like
that,
the sickest costume.
Hers is pretty sick.
I saw a thing today where it was like Tom Holland says that he would be open.
Yeah,
or
he wants a Miles Morales or a Spider-Gwen.
He thinks
Yeah.
that like a Spider-Gwen would be like that's what
or
they
a
need.
Spider-Woman
right
in
now.
general.
Yeah,
He wants new stuff happening.
Yeah,
I'm all for that
I think
too.
Miles
said
Morales
that in
would
an
work
interview.
really well in the MCU.
It's
like-
gonna happen.
Because I think
It will. Absolutely.
they're aging Peter Parker up. He's out of high school now, and maybe he'll go on to college in the next one. I don't know. We'll
He's
see.
getting his GED.
Listen, I don't think that they would have him go to college now after.
Well, I know he goes. He canonically doesn't he go to Empire State, or is that
He
just
goes to
a-
Empire State University.
Yeah. So,
But he doesn't finish, I don't think. He never gets his degree or anything, and that's one of the things that happens during Superior Spider-Man.
Mhm.
He goes back to college and gets his doctorate.
Yeah, because I can't see how they would make it work though in the MCU now that he's on his own. He's gonna have to pay rent
because
and
he
go to college
sacrifices.
and everything. Like I
Instead of
I can't
making
see
it to
that
class
happening.
And making
Well, I
rent
mean, they
and
did
making
it-
a job
they
and
did it
relationship
really
and everything.
well
He
with Spider-Man 2.
sacrifices everything to be Spider-Man instead
Yeah.
of Peter Parker.
They did it really well with Spider-Man 2. Like, he's he gets the web block because there's so much going on and he doesn't.
Existential.
Yeah, existential. Like he goes
Get
to
it.
college and he's falling behind in his classes because Kirk Connors talks to him. He's like, hey, like you're struggling.
That's Peter Parker.
Yeah, so.
That's Spider-Man. He sacrifices his own personal human life.
But yeah, like I think
Struggles with that to,
what-
do what he needs to do.
they're setting up to be like Miles' work. Because I think you have to have a decent age gap between Miles and Peter. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have that
He's
kind
gotta
of
be the more
mentor-mentee
experienced.
relationship.
Yep.
And I
like
think
what,
they're
10 or 15 years at least?
not that. I don't say that long. I think at least.
I would say that long. To be
You think
honest.
so?
I would actually
10 to
agree.
15? I say at least 6.
I think
Spider-Man
10 to
is
15.
super established
Yeah.
before Miles happens.
Yeah.
Miles is the young kid, and Peter is the hero that he should
Well,
be.
because I'm
you
even
know?
thinking back to like the PS4 game. Because how old is Spider-Man in that? About like maybe 25.
He's in college.
He's in college. yeah.
Okay, so early 20s, and then I mean
And
Miles Morales and
Peter is older than that. Yeah, Peter's in his getting to maybe being 30, but so it's 10 years probably. I'd say 10
Yeah.
years.
'Cause I'm more thinking just in that.
But I can see
you
the
know?
MCU doing a little bit smaller time. Like,
They
even
might,
if
but
it's like, okay,
don't
Peter is like 2021, and then Miles is a freshman in high school. Like, I think that would work, or it could work, because I think there's a good enough dynamic.
You think
there.
just 4 years would be enough though?
It's
I
six,
feel like
it's
it's
gotta be
6
more than
years.
that.
It has to be
I'd
more
have
than
to
It's
say
4.
6
get a
years.
bigger gap.
It's 6 years.
There has to be that I can teach you things, a mentor type thing going on. There has to be,
Yeah.
or else I think it doesn't kind of feel right.
Yeah.
But no, you know what I'm really interested in? This is kind of just out of the blue, but the relationship between Spider-Man and Fantastic Four.
That'd be interesting
That
as well.
is a good one.
And they like, I feel like they kind of confirmed like the Baxter Building is who bought.
They didn't
out Stark.
confirm anything, but
Well, because I think the two
I mean, it's a good
prevalent
theory.
the two prevalent like ideas were Oscorp and the Baxter Building, and then Norman says how there's no Oscorp in this world, so
Yeah.
it kind of deconfirms that one. And I think they are setting up for it to be the Baxter Building. Like
Yeah,
they
the
haven't showed it
Roxxon.
yet.
I think it
but-
could be Roxxon.
You think so?
It could be. Before we end, because I mean we've been talking about this
Yeah,
now
we
for
probably
almost
gotta
40
end.
minutes. There's
Yeah.
one more thing I want to touch up on with you guys about this movie, and that is obviously Doctor Strange was shocked at Ned being able to open portals. So what are they going to do with that now that they confirmed that
I'm not
he's
sure.
magic? What
I
are they
don't
going to be
think-
doing with that?
I don't think they're gonna do anything. Honestly, I
I
think
don't
it was meant to
they'll
be
do much. I think it's
com-
just kind of
I-
a,
You think it was just like a one-off thing?
Yeah,
like,
comedic
hey, it was
thing,
funny
yeah.
for this, like just kind of convenient for this one movie
Yeah.
then? Or are they going to have
it
him
added
do
something
anything?
to the Ned Leeds character.
Yeah, I think
that
it
made
was-
him relevant
yeah.
for the movie.
Yeah.
If they didn't do anything, there's no point really of him being there. He's the guy in the chair, yeah, but he also has MJ,
Yeah.
who
Yeah, but I
takes
just
partially that spot.
I
you
think
know?
it'd be really weird if they were like, "Hey, yeah, you're actually magic, but we're not going to touch up on it anymore after this."
Yeah, I think they're.
That seems like
I
it's
don't know.
too big of a
They
detail
might a little
to
bit
not do anything
but you
else
also got to
with.
think there's just magicians in the world. Like,
Yeah.
just watching Doctor Strange, like that one guy uses magic just to walk, and then Mordo takes it away. But like, there's people that have magic abilities; they just don't use them like superpowers. All right.
And then would they even remember any of that when they forgot who Peter Parker is?
Well,
Would they
Doctor
have
Strange would
remembered
know
that
Ned.
guy?
Probably would.
That's interesting.
He would
because
know Ned.
I think he still
Because
would
they
have helped.
still remember that stuff.
Yeah, they just don't know
they,
who.
They just know Spider-Man though,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
not
Yeah,
Peter Parker.
yeah.
So he remembers that he's Spider-Man's guy in the chair then?
Or at least at that point in the movie, he was there and helped.
He was
Yeah.
there during the
So
Statue of
I'm
Liberty
just trying to
scene,
piece
so-
together you
See,
guys'
no,
understanding of how
that-
you think this is going to play out.
That's something I don't understand quite yet either. I think
It's not
Spider-Man.
fleshed out.
Yeah, I
like,
think
it
Spider-Man
won't be
Exactly.
until
I'm
four.
trying to
the
get your
next
guys'
one.
I think
thoughts on it. I
Spider-Man
was just trying to
4
fish here.
will, or whatever the next Spider-Man cameo is, or whatever. I think they'll probably touch on that a bit. But I was very interested because, like, because Ned has been a huge part of Spider-Man's, like, obviously he's Peter's best friend, but like he's also been very integral to Spider-Man. So like, does he just help Spider-Man and not know who he is? I'm guessing that's what they're doing.
Probably. That's what my guess would be.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different
Or
ways
if it was
that
just a one-off thing, who knows?
Yeah.
That established relationship's not there anymore, so
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
because I feel like that's almost too big of a detail, I guess, in my mind, and especially with how Doctor Strange was that impressed that he's like, "Did you just open up a portal?"
Like,
Like,
just look surprised.
well,
Yeah.
I feel like they might do something else with that. I don't know. It's one of those things where I could see it going either way, but I think it's odd that they would do
Well, I
that and
think
make
they've
it such a
set-
pivotal part of the movie and then never touch on it.
I think
again.
they had that line where Doctor Strange is like, "Oh, interesting." Like, because if you watch the first Doctor Strange, it takes him forever to use a sling ring.
Right.
So like, I think it was supposed to be kind of like keeping it so it's like, okay, it's not like super easy to do. Like, this isn't just some, because obviously that would kind of retcon what happened in Doctor Strange. But it just shows, like, okay, well, he's got the ability to do these things. So he's got this magic talent, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go anywhere.
Which I love in the beginning of the movie, or not the beginning, but like when Ned first meets Doctor Strange, he's like, "Hey, how do you know if you're magic?" Because I've heard it runs in my
your
family,
physician.
and sometimes I get this tingling in my fingers. He goes to go see a physician. Like that was funny to me. And then when they were actually like, "Oh yeah, by the way, he is magic," like that was, I was just kind of like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like that. Like I said, I feel like that's too big of a detail to have in this movie to never touch on. So I
I
want to
think
know
it
what you
was
guys
just
thought.
making him relevant for the movie.
Yeah.
To be honest, like he's not gonna become a hobgoblin. So
No, and I think also it's like, kind of like you said, like, keep him relevant, because MJ's kind of taken the guy in the chair slot, like you said. Like, she's kind of closer to Peter now, and they show that in the movie, like how they're kind of hanging out on the top of the roof by themselves, and then he comes up and they're like, "All right, we're gonna do this together," and then
Right.
he's like, they're holding hands.
Well, it was a
and he's
shift
like,
because it was Ned and Peter in Homecoming.
Yep.
In Far From Home, it was kind of a shift from Ned to MJ,
Now it's
and
just
now it's
MJ.
MJ and Peter, and Ned's kind of still the best friend, but he's just there.
You know what I kind of want to see though is, because they did have this one line, I think it'd be kind of funny later on, is let's say Ned, remembers that he's magic or whatever, right? But he doesn't remember Peter. He doesn't remember he's friends with him. So what's stopping them from, in a few movies, having Ned become a villain? Just to go back when he's like, "Don't worry, just hold on," where he says, "Don't worry, I won't become a super villain and try to kill you." When they were in the lab and they say that, like, what if it's almost like a, "Hey, but now that I don't remember who you are,
Yeah,
my reality's
Yeah,
changing."
but he's not his best friend anymore.
and I also think that line was
And when
Well, yes,
when
it was
Harry tried to
comedy
kill-
based off of what they said before. When
Yeah,
he
it
says,
was
"Yes, he
just
died in my
Easter egg,
arms."
but-
I'm saying,
Well,
but
no,
what if?
I know, but
I'm
like, I
speculating.
think the line is also kind of there to be like hinting at Hobgoblin, but they're not. I don't think they're gonna do it.
It's
Like, I don't
just
think this Ned
throwing
Leeds
a
works.
reference in,
Yeah,
but he's not Peter's best friend anymore. While Harry was Peter's best friend before he tried to kill him, like that was a whole
Yeah,
part
he
of it,
killed
you know.
his father.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, what if they said it? Like, what if that was just thrown in there because in the back of their minds, that was something that's a possibility later.
I don't know. I just don't think this Ned Leeds could work as the
Yeah,
Hobgoblin.
it doesn't
because
really
he is
work.
Hobgoblin in the comics. He's like the kind of, I don't know, Green Goblin counterpart. He's very similar. There's some guy that finds like Osborn's like secret lair and like takes a bunch of his equipment.
He's the first
yeah.
Hobgoblin. There's been
Yeah.
many.
But like, I don't see this character working as that. Like, he's just kind of a goofy kid. Like, he's not.
Yeah,
he's,
it
there's
doesn't-
nothing
doesn't quite work.
sinister about him. But
No, but it'd be kind of a funny shift, I guess, in my mind. That'd be interesting to see.
I think it'd be
what
cool
they
to
do
see a
with that.
Hobgoblin,
interesting,
but
yeah.
I don't think it'd be Ned Leeds.
Because he's gonna know he's magic. He's not gonna know Peter. He's not gonna know that he was best friends with Spider-Man. So, like, in my mind, what's stopping that from shifting now that he got erased? I mean, because we don't know what's gonna happen. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen with everyone forgetting who he was. I mean, people's realities are gonna change. They're gonna branch
knows?
off now and be
We'll see.
different.
Well, I think, although you got to think about it too, like, it's really only 4 people that know him. I mean, of course, the Avengers characters, but like, it's MJ, Aunt May, which she's dead, Happy, and then Ned. And so, just 3 of the characters still alive, and Happy. Obviously,
There'd be more though.
not really. I mean, I guess Flash, but
Well,
like,
think about it this way, because what was the spell? Everyone.
Everyone still knows
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
yeah,
They
but
just
like,
really,
everybody found out Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but that wasn't integral to, like, they're just like, oh, this is crazy. Like, this guy I went to high school with.
Here's what I'm thinking though too, is what was the spell? Everyone in the world's gonna forget who you are. So what about
Yeah.
Nick Fury, who's off planet, and Thor,
That's
the
what I'm saying,
Asgardians?
but,
Like,
like,
all these people that are off planet, they
Well,
still might know.
The
Like,
thing is, though, Nick Fury doesn't really have any interaction with, because if you remember Far From Home, it's not
even
Nick
him,
Fury.
but-
It's a scroll. And like, so, and also, like, I don't think with the other Avengers characters he plays that integral part as Peter Parker to them to be super changed by the reality that Peter Parker.
well, no, but
exist.
they would still know that.
I think they still know, like, they would
I
know
don't think so.
Spider-Man, but I think
they
a
know
lot of
Spider-Man,
them,
not
yeah,
who Peter Parker
exactly.
is.
You don't think ever Thor and Peter
No.
Parker had
No.
never once? Where
Sure,
it's like,
He
oh
knows
yeah,
who
his
Peter
name's
Parker
Peter.
is, or
But
whatever,
it doesn't change his life. Like, he's not.
Well, I'm not saying it's gonna change his life. I'm just saying they still would know that he's Spider-Man then.
But it doesn't-
Which could change something
No,
later
because if
on.
they knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, they forgot because that's the spell.
Well,
Everyone,
the spell was everyone in the world. They weren't on the world.
the world can be anything.
They didn't say
Yeah,
universe.
They don't have to say universe. I don't think.
You have to realize that was a multiversal
Yeah,
spell.
multiversal.
Yeah,
So they were meaning everybody in that universe.
yeah.
He said that
That's
spell.
my intake.
That spell
Yeah.
borders on the what is it? On the edge of
the known and unknown
the
of
known
realities.
and dark, or whatever. So I'm thinking that is a everyone
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
I don't know. I mean, because they never specified, so it's all speculation. But
Everyone who knows.
I
saw
think it'd
it,
be kind of
so.
cool if they took it
then-
back that way.
The next question becomes: would they still have like the data records that might have been kept about Peter Parker being Spider-Man?
Well,
No,
see, and that's what we
that's gone.
talked about
Yeah,
that was
yesterday.
eliminated
Well,
as
because
well.
if you,
Limited.
when he puts the box down for when he's moving in, he's got a GED book, so like he has to go back to high school or not go back.
He never
he's taking a
passed
test.
because he doesn't exist
So
anymore.
like
That's
he
right.
needs to get like an actual identity now. Like he's not. He
Tape
doesn't
isn't
exist.
a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Because that reveals it. Like that didn't happen.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
all
they
the
take everything out.
all
Yeah.
the
Forgot
physical
that
stuff,
aspect of
like
it.
at the high school when they had that huge shrine up for him, like that.
Like yeah,
It's gone.
Peter doesn't exist.
True.
Everything that says that Peter Parker is Spider-Man is gone.
Yep.
Everything else is the same.
So anything
It's just
referencing
Peter Parker
at
is
all
gone. Spider-Man's
gone.
still there. Peter Parker doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I think we should probably wrap it up though, because
I gotta go home.
I have to start my stream up in 15 minutes, so we have to flip this entire thing in 15 minutes now. So I think we should probably call it.
Yeah.
So Shadow Romeo, thank you for the sub, much appreciated, my friend. And that was the only sub we had tonight, I guess. So other than me, and then Weston had it. Well, I shared mine. You didn't share yours.
Well,
So,
so I don't need to gloat about it.
I know. That's why I'm saying, like, Shadow Romeo shared his, so thank you. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out and watching episode 29 of Uncalled For, where every single Monday night we get together and talk. Are we going to do a show next week due to the
I wanna
Christmas
be
stuff?
here.
Because Logan won't be here. I'm sure you guys are going to want to just kind of relax and enjoy time with
Yeah,
your
probably
families.
skip it.
Probably.
No show next week then?
I'd say so.
Okay, so no show next week. We're just going to call it off now, and we will. So this is the final show of the year.
It does.
So that means we won't. Because what is
End it with a good one.
next one then would be the 3rd?
Yeah, January 3rd.
January
My
3rd will
first
be
day
our
back
next
at
one
work
then.
after this.
Okay, so January 3rd is when we'll see you guys again here on twitch.tv/Huge Media Studios. Otherwise, we will have uploads of this show going up all next week on YouTube, over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Huge Media. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Been a blast as always. And I guess we'll see you next year. Have a happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And we'll see you January 3rd.
Peace out.
See you next year.
Bye-bye.